book, I read the 7 steps of success in network marketing. In that time, I thought Herbalife is only a nutrition company. Okay? So now we know we are at MLM to use the best products in the world with us to share in the world. So we are working with MLM. And then I read this book 7 times. I learned so much. It was not like a book, like a Roma. It was like a compass in the way, in your path. I think it's the right path to the presidency level. Okay? And this person, what we want to bring on stage. I was qualified for the Level Up promotion in Lisbon, the extra 2 days. And he shared one story from a son with his father. And this story gives me so much inspiration and motivation that I start to work like crazy, and I qualified last month for Premier League. And this was for me like Ertan, you have to stand up and work. Don't talk too much, work. This was his attitude, what he gave me, okay? So please, let's stand up. Stand up, guys. Stand up, stand up, stand up.
Stand up, please.
This part, the next 1 hour will change your life. If you are open to learn the 7 steps for your success and skill, please help us welcome on stage our good friend, everyone! I am excited to share some ideas with you today. Finally! How many got a little bit of value from the presentation I gave earlier? Yeah? We're working really hard with the company to try and take that presentation and turn it into a video that we can translate into every language in the world. A nice short video that you can show to everybody. We're working hard to be able to make that happen. But what I want to do today is, first of all, I want to talk about this program that we started called the Herbalife Premier League. How many are familiar with the Herbalife Premier League? Raise your hands. So those that are qualified, they have this little thing around their necks. Whoops. I just tore it in half. But they got this little thing around their neck, so you can look to the right or the left if they have one. That means they're pretty special. If they don't have one, that means they need to get a little bit of stuff going on. Congratulations, well done. I want to show you some statistics, because when I sat down to talk with the company, the importance of 10 recruits is very, very important when you look at big data, and when you look at the chances of success. Once somebody gets 10 quality recruits, and 2 of those to supervisor, they're really on a good path. You know, so they have enough raw materials to be able to go to work. Their long-term success is much more, certainly not guaranteed, but it's much improved. Okay? So in March, when we started this program, in the entire world, there were 10 people, 10 distributorships that qualified for Premier League in the entire world. Now, we did launch it on March 24th, okay? So in fairness, not a lot of people were aimed at it, but 10 in 95 countries, 10. In April, 121, from 10 to 121, pretty good. In May, 306. In June, 675. In July, 937. In August, 1,681, for a total of 3,730 qualifiers around the world. Give yourself a round of applause. Now, I want you to imagine every single person on your team qualifying for Premier League, bringing in the class of 2024. You can do it between now and Christmas. Every single one of you can bring in 10 and 2 between now and the end of this year. Now, I want you to imagine this becoming part of your culture. Everybody that joins, this becomes their target. This becomes their aspiration. It'll change the total nature of your business because you'll always have builders in addition to customers. You're going to have a group of builders within your team. And if you keep building on that building block over and over and over again, you're going to have compounded success. So let's take a look at E&A. So E&A, if we break out E&A specifically, in March, you had 8. So not bad, out of the 10. In April, you had 33. In May, you had 62. In June, you had 102. In July, 171. And in August, 297. For a total of 673 just in the E&A market. Congratulations to the 673 in this market. Now that sounds like a big number, right? But 673 is nothing. You guys could very easily have 6,000 or 7,000 in this market. Very easily. Just using the DMOs that you have right now, going out there, talking to people, having more quantity of information happening inside of your business, you can easily 10x that. So I think the number that you have, which was 297 this last month, this month you can double that. How many are feeling momentum when it comes to Premier League? Raise your hand if you're feeling momentum within your organizations. You're starting to feel it percolating inside of your teams. I just want you to know, if you haven't done it yourself, you've been around for a while, you're a legacy leader, you haven't done it yourself, I would encourage you to just do it as a story and as an example. Just do it one time, again, because I know you've already done it. Do it one more time just to show your team, just for the story, to tell your team why they should do it, and tell them how you're doing it in today's market using today's DMOs, okay? That's very, very valuable, because if you do it one time, you can get 100 people to do it, you can get 1,000 people to do it, you can get 10,000 people to do it. But you have to do it the one time. Now, let me show you how you rank when it comes to by region. Coming in last, it's very sad to say, is North America with 204 total. Next is SamCam. Then the Russian-speaking market, look at their growth. Then we have India, the huge country. Then we have you, E&A market, 673. Then one country, you're going to let one country beat you? All of E&A? You're going to let Mexico beat you? With 891? Are you kidding me? Look what they did last month. 576 just last month in Mexico. And then number one is the APAC market, but barely APAC market. I would say Mexico has most momentum, APAC has most numbers, but I personally think that if E&A flexes all at the same time, just one time, for like 90 days, you become number one. Who's ready to become number one in E&A? Yeah? So, We have a few guests that we'd like to bring up on stage. The people you're about to hear from, we have 3 different distributorships. They've been carefully selected, having had some amazing results with Premier League in terms of increasing recruitment, activation, and production of new supervisors, as much as duplicating Premier League in their organization. Please help me welcome them out. We have first Maya, second Gaga, and third Karine and Andy. Come on out, all of you. From Bulgaria, number 13 team, Maya Krivina Petrova. From Greenland, number 13 team, 2,500, Chaba Lumenase. And from Switzerland, Global Expansion Team 2,500, Karim Andreas Bauer! All right, have a seat. So I would like to start with Maya. Hi, Maya.
Hi.
So why don't you share your story first? What has Premier League done for you? Congratulations on qualifying.
Good afternoon, sir. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Добрый день, дорогие друзья. Здравейте, приятели. България, благодаря ви. Казвам се Майя Илиева Петрова и съм по професия клиничен психоаналитик. 12 години живях в чужбина, завърших образованието си в Москва, след това в Париж. Завърнах се в България с идеята за голямата мечта. Срещнах Herbalife през 1998 година в търсене на възможности за допълнителни доходи. Видях обява в една телевизия и всъщност попаднах на член. Чух за продуктите, чух истории на Herbalife, които ме впечатлиха. Сключих веднага договор и това, което се случи, е, че още втория месец имах своите великолепни резултати. Свалих 3 размера дрехи. Имах много повече енергия, отколкото очаквах. Всъщност, самото начало започнах бизнеса на половин работен ден. Работех в Herbalife и съвместявах своята основна професия. Дойде обаче момент, в който взех решение, че бизнеса на Herbalife може да бъдат мои основни доходи. И тогава взех решение, отворих Nutrition Club и в рамките на една година постигнах ниво Get. Нещата се промениха драстично. Това, което включих е и онлайн маратоните малко по-късно, което на практика изнесе бизнеса ми извън пределите на България. Но разликата, която се внесе в моя бизнес е една сутрин през април, през тази година, 2024 година, аз получих имейл от компания Herbalife, където учтиво ме канаха да присъствам на специално обучение, което ще води Ерик Лори. Включих се и там чух. Ерик каза: нужни са ви за един невероятен проект Шампионска лига. Просто е необходимо да имате своите 10 нови договора, първи линии, които в рамките на първите 30 дни да генерират своите 250 PPV. Нужни са ви и още 2 нови супервайзери, които също да са ви първа линия, и това в рамките на една година. Беше невероятно, гениално, семпло, постижимо, и аз си казах: скачам и почвам. И всъщност какво ми даде Ерик? Тази лига промени изцяло фокуса ми. Той ме научи и ме върна в началото на моя бизнес. Той ми каза: виж, Майя, трябва да хванеш двата лоста здраво и да има баланс. Лоста за клиенти и лоста за дистрибутори, които да развиваш до маркетинговия план. Преди Ерик Лори сключвах 1-2 договора месечно. Сега сключвам 5-6 договора месечно. Моя обем постоянно се движи между 7 и 12 хиляди волюми. Другото нещо, което е много интересно, че всъщност моя личен обем придоби различна стойност. В моя обем всеки месец има минимум 3 до 4 старши консултанта, 2 success билдера, минимум 1 QP и 1 супервайзър. Само за последните няколко месеца в моята организация се родиха 6 нови супервайзера. Нещото, което страшно много ми хареса, е, че всъщност бизнеса ми започна да се раздвижва. Всичките ми клиенти, които аз имах и градях като супервайзери, оставаха дълго време на ниво 50%, просто като клиенти ядящи на 50%. Те не се развиваха в бизнеса. Но тази лига раздвижи бизнеса ми. Моите хора, които започнаха да водят нови хора, да строят екипи, лека по лека започнаха да правят своите обеви и на практика моя роялти започна да се вдига. Благодаря ти, Ерик, за тази лига. Тя дава много стойност в моя бизнес. Но искам да подчертая, че двата инструмента са абсолютно съвместими. Nutrition Club с онлайн маратоните. Това е нещо, което е изключително гениално. Даже си устройваме съревнования между това какво бихме направили в физическия клуб и какво правим на практика в онлайн маратоните. Това е уникално. Благодаря ти, Ерик, за цялата философия и за концепцията. Благодаря на Herbalife, която ми даде възможност да променя живота си. Благодаря ви.
Hello everyone, my name is Gaga Lykke Larsen. I am 35 years old and I come from a country with less than 60,000 people. I come from Greenland. Eight years ago, I felt I needed to do something with my life. I was not happy and I didn't feel like a great mother. I started following some accounts on Instagram, including my sponsor, who is from Australia. So you see the power of social media. My sponsor messaged me and introduced me to Herbalife. As a single mother and university student, I said no. I didn't have time. 6 months later, I messaged him myself and wanted to try the product, but not into the business. I felt like I couldn't inspire anyone because I didn't like myself. I started to feel amazing because of the product, and I wanted to inspire others. My sponsor Patrick and Donko from Australia work from home around his kids. And I was nearly with my son when he was little because I was working the whole days. We work with social media, and because of that, we decided to implement the Fit Marathon this year. To our online product master, we invite people. Sorry. We promote the products through social media, especially the breakfast, and invite people to our online masterclass, product masterclass, with storytelling about the Fit Marathon, followed with HOM, so they will know we have a business opportunity as well. We show our breakfast and lifestyle every day through Instagram and Facebook stories and talk about online Fit Marathon and do our invitations. Why Premier League? Because I need to duplicate myself. Without duplication, I'm not going anywhere. I personally always have high production since I started, but I couldn't really duplicate myself. I didn't have enough profitable supervisors because I had a lot of people who were only buying the products for themselves just because of the discount. I invited my members to the first 2 Premier League sessions with Eric Rory, and I said to them, look, this is our opportunity to learn more about how we can grow our business and become better with our invitations. After attending the calls, we were like, wow, we need to qualify for this. My business has been up and down. I didn't have control over it. When I signed 10 people up, 9 of them were happy customers. With Premier League, 5 of them go for the business. So there's a growth. Duplication started to happen with the supervisor lines and more first lines with the supervisors. And I have a positive feeling about this Premier League. Last year, in 7 months, I had 3 new supervisors. This year I have 7. And I'm duplicating. That's the most important part because now I am building profitable supervisors. I now feel stronger as a sponsor and I really feel confident about growth. I haven't duplicated myself with Premier League yet, but 4 are already on their way. If I can do it, everyone in the room can do it. Thank you.
Very well done, very well done. Finally, we have Green and Andy.
Hallo liebe Herbalife-Familie, ich bin Karin, ich bin 34, ich bin gelernte medizinische Praxisassistentin und mittlerweile bin ich Mama von 2 wunderbaren Kindern. Ja, aufgewachsen bin ich auf einem Bauernhof ganz in den Bergen oben und hatte seit meiner Kindheit Probleme mit meinem Gewicht. Ich habe dann später in der Schule wurde ich oft gemobbt und später habe ich dann viele Diäten ausprobiert, war natürlich immer wieder daran gescheitert und dann, als noch die 2 Schwangerschaftskilos draufkamen, ich wusste nicht mehr, was ich soll machen mit diesen Kilos und dann eines Tages kam dann eine Kollegin zu mir nach Hause und sie erzählte mir zum ersten Mal von den Produkten von Herbalife. Ich habe sie probiert und ich habe diese Energie gespürt, habe Gewicht reduziert und ich fühle mich heute zum ersten Mal so richtig wohl in meinem Körper.
Ja, ich bin Andi und ich hatte einen sehr, sehr schlechten Lifestyle. Ich wog 115 Kilo, bei meiner Größe nicht gerade das Beste. Und doch hatte ich 3 Monate zugeschaut, wie Karin ihr geniales Produktpräsentat kreiert hatte. Dann bin ich aber doch gestartet und ich habe ziemlich schnell viel Gewicht reduziert und habe einfach einen neuen Lifestyle gespürt. Und genau diesen Lifestyle, den wollten wir nach außen tragen. Wir wollten dies in die Welt rausschreien und haben uns dann entschieden, vor 3 Jahren, dass ich meinen gut bezahlten Job als Finanzberater kündige und dass wir alles auf eine Karte setzen und mit Herbalife durchstarten.
Ja, wie arbeiten wir? Wir haben das Geschäft gestartet, als die Pandemie war und für uns war von Anfang an dann klar, wir arbeiten online. So arbeiten wir mit den sozialen Medien. Wir nehmen die Leute täglich mit in unser Leben, wenn wir aufstehen, was wir den ganzen Tag machen, um natürlich auch das Vertrauen zu gewinnen. Und wir arbeiten natürlich mit 21 Tages Fit Challenges, wo wir die Leute jeweils immer wieder darauf einladen, bei uns mitzumachen, um auch diese Produktresultate zu kreieren natürlich. Am Anfang dieses Jahres wurden wir dann von Herbalife eingeladen, an der Premier League teilzunehmen von Eric Worre. Und ich habe gedacht, da will ich dabei sein. Von Anfang an, jedes Meeting will ich dabei sein. Ich musste mich wieder qualifizieren, dass ich die weiteren Meetings benutzen kann. Und das war für mich einfach der beste Weg, denn ich war von Anfang an von dir, Erik, so begeistert. Deine Energie kam durch den Bildschirm, das Wissen, das du uns weitergegeben hast, dass wir den Trichter noch mehr führen dürfen. Ich habe das Bild von mir noch mit dem Honig, dass wir einfach, wenn wir Honig brauchen wir auch viel mehr Bienen. Und darum sage ich jetzt, bald brauchen wir viel mehr Menschen. Und wir dürfen ja auch stolz sein. Wir dürfen stolz sein, was wir jeden Tag zu uns nehmen dürfen mit dieser Firma. Und dafür bin ich dir von Herzen dankbar. Erik, du hast uns nämlich einen riesen Schwung gegeben ins Geschäft.
Ja, wie war es vor der Premier League? Für uns gab es 3 Jahre vorher schon irgendein Geschäft. Und wir hatten in diesen 3 Jahren, konnten wir 50 Supervisor aufbauen. Haben wir auch irgendwo gebraucht, damit wir uns in unseren Marketing-Step qualifizieren konnten. Und wir hatten einen Flow. Wir hatten eine Struktur. Aber wir hatten viel zu wenig Duplikation. Weil in 3 Jahren 50 Supervisor ist irgendwo plus minus ein guter Supervisor pro Monat. Und das ist einfach zu wenig. Und mit der Premier League, seit wir die Premier League arbeiten, konnten wir in den letzten 6 Monaten bereits 20 neue Supervisor rekrutieren. Und das sind dann eine Verdreifachung der Supervisor. Natürlich, danke. Und schon ein guter Schritt weiter, aber noch nicht dort, wo wir sein möchten. Aber dies hat natürlich auch dazu geführt, dass wir unsere Royalties, unser Organisationsvolumen seit einem halben Jahr um 20% gesteigert haben. Und das bringt uns natürlich wieder näher an unseren nächsten Step, wofür wir natürlich auch sehr dankbar sind, Eric Worre, für diese unglaublichen Tipps. Und apropos Tipps, ich möchte euch hier auch noch einen kleinen Tipp geben, der uns extrem geholfen hat für die Premier League. Und zwar sind wir eine Herbalife-Familie. Und wir gehen zusammen und wir machen zusammen. Und wir machen nicht eine One-Man- oder One-Woman-Show. Und darum haben wir ein Chat kreiert, wo alle, unsere ganze Community drin ist, wo alle voneinander profitieren können. Und so kann jeder, auch wenn es Sidelines sind, voneinander profitieren. Wenn einer einen Step macht oder die Premier League schafft, kann er weiter erzählen, wie mache ich das, wie arbeite ich, damit wir alle voneinander profitieren können, weil wir sind eine große Familie und macht es auch mit der Premier League. Danke.
Vielen lieben Dank, dass wir da ausgesucht wurden, um hier heute zu sprechen. Was für eine Ehre, mit dir, Eric Worre, auf der Bühne zu sein. Danke dir und danke Herbalife.
Everybody, give a big round of applause for Maya, for Gaga, for Kareem, and Andy. Thank you all very much. Now, question for all of you. What was the one theme that kept repeating in their stories? And I didn't know what their stories were. Those were chosen without me. The theme was duplication. Duplication. You can have recruiting and you can have sales. But if you don't have duplication and leadership, you only have a job in Herbalife. You understand? If you're only selling and you're only recruiting, that's a job. You went from a job outside of Herbalife to a job inside of Herbalife. When you have duplication and you add leadership, now you have a business. So the beginning of what they were just experiencing, and this is new, this is early, is the beginnings of duplication. How many of you here would like to have more duplication in your business? Raise your hands. Here's the beginning of duplication. You qualify for Premier League. Step one. Step two is reach down into your team, find out who would like to qualify for Premier League, and work with those people who are willing. And then keep teaching people how to teach people, how to teach people, how to teach people. But you can't tell somebody to do something that you haven't done yourself. There's a lot of things that I didn't want to do. There's a big lie in network marketing. Not in network marketing, but there's a big lie in entrepreneurship. And that lie is this: only do what you love. Because if you only do what you love, you never work a day in your life. That is the biggest lie ever. It's not true. You have to sometimes do things you don't love. Right? An Olympic athlete has to do things they don't love sometimes. You mothers out there raising children, there were sometimes you had to do some things you didn't love while you were raising those children. Even though you love your children, there were some parts that weren't fun. A prima ballerina doesn't only do what they love, there's pain involved sometimes. A confession for you. I was always uncomfortable selling, and I was uncomfortable recruiting. You know what was my most hated thing at the beginning? You know what it was? Home meetings. Oh, please don't make me do a home meeting. I have to leave on a Thursday night. A distributor says they're going to have 20 people at their house. I have to leave my family. I have to drive over to their house. Only 3 people show up. 17 people don't show up. So my distributor hides in the bathroom, crying the whole time. So I have to entertain the 3 people in the room with the pretzels and the soft drinks. I do my little presentation, and then I spend the rest of the evening re-recruiting my distributor because they're ready to quit. By the time I'm done, I make $47. And I'm like, I told my sponsor, I said, I'll pay you $47 if I never have to do another home meeting. Please don't make me do it. He said, Eric, you don't understand. And he taught me one of the very most important lessons of my whole career. He said, it's not about you. I said, what do you mean? He said, listen, if you agree to host or attend 1 home meeting a week, will your belief, he said, first of all, do they work? Do you get customers? Do you sign distributors? I said, yeah. But not enough. He said, it doesn't matter. How many do you? Well, 2 customers, 3 customers, maybe 1 distributor. Out of a typical home meeting. Over time. Maybe not that night, but eventually. Okay, fine. But I don't care. It's not enough. He said, listen, if you do it, will you have enough credibility and belief to convince 10 more people to do it? And I went, yes. So you're telling me if I do 1, host or attend, then I can get 10 people to do 1, host or attend per week. He said, yes, but if you can get 10, could you get 100? If you can get 100, could you get 1,000? So now if it's 3 customers and 1 distributor, and you have 1,000 happening every week, and all you have to do, Eric, is 1.
And there's 999 happening all over the world. That's 3,000 customers and 1,000 new distributors. Will you trade your one evening for 1,000 evenings? I said, okay, I understand. I'll do the home meetings. I'll do the things I don't want to do. You understand? So the same thing is true with Premier League. You might not feel like doing it. You've done it before. You paid your dues. You know, hey, I already have a big pin. Don't tell me what to do. I understand. I totally understand. It's not about making you do something you don't want to do. I'm just telling you, if you do it, it will inspire more people on your team to do it, and you only have to do it once. I talked to Amartad 5 months ago, 6 months ago. He said, I'll make sure that I'm qualified for Premier League by the time we get to the ENA event, which he did. And his message to me, congratulations. His message to me just a few days ago was,
70 anni di sicuro.
boy, did I learn a
70.
lot. Things have changed. The way I need to approach the market has changed. I learned that the language needs to change. I learned that my approach needs to change. I learned that I need to adapt things into DMOs. I learned that I need to find a way to take random people and plug them into a flow and a process and a system. It was an education for somebody who's been involved in the business for how many years? For 36 years. And he learned in just the last few months that for things to change, he had to change, which he was willing to do. Well done. So here's what I will tell you. Again, this might sound like it's a commercial for Premier League, and it kind of is. And not for anybody's ego or not for anybody's reason, because it will put you on a path, number one, bring in the class of 2024. Do it before Christmas. Get it done, okay? And number two, it'll set you on a path so you have more duplication in 2025. How many of you would like to have more duplication in 2025? Lack of duplication is the most frustrating thing in the world. It's so frustrating. I spent my first 3.5 years with no duplication. When you're adding people like crazy and you don't have duplication, you feel like you're crazy. You're like, where are the good people? What's going on? Why are they just sitting there doing nothing? And we purposely created this program so it would never get in the way of any DMO. It should be able to work with budget breakfast clubs. It should be able to work with fit camps. It should be able to work with marathons. It should be able to work with social. It should be able to work with everything, okay? So, anyway, I wanted you to be able to just set an intention. How many of you have an intention that you are prepared to get yourself qualified for Premier League? Raise your hands. How many in front of God and the whole world and the rest of this room will commit to getting it done by January 1st? Raise your hands. One way or the other. One way or the other. There's nothing stopping you. It's only a decision. It's only a decision. There's literally nothing stopping you, I promise. Those with the green lanyards will tell you it was just a decision. It had nothing to do with skill or talent or ability. It was just a decision. They said, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna let anything stop me. Look around to the ones with the green lanyards around you, they're nodding their heads and say, yeah, I just made a decision. I just did it. You can do the same. You can do the same. If you're tired of crawling inside of Herbalife, that's the worst thing in the world, is to watch somebody crawl when they should be running, when they're capable of running, and they're crawling. It's like, get up, come on. Get up, you're not meant to crawl. And here's the danger. The company's been around for 44 years, so it makes some of you feel like you've got 44 years to figure this out. Success loves speed. If you're gonna do it, get it done. How many feel like they're gonna get Premier League done at some point, eventually? Raise your hands. Eventually. Eventually you're gonna be Premier League qualified. Come on, raise your hands. Is that not translating? I'm confused. How many feel like, for real, play with me, eventually you're going to qualify for Premier League? So if you're going to do it anyway, you might as well just get it done. If you get it done now, you'll be able to create more results for your team. It's a gift to your future team. It's a gift to your career to just get it done if you're going to do it anyway. If you're going to do it in 3 years, get it done in 3 months. Why not, right? All right. So enough about that. I'm going to move around. Can I use this? I'm going to use this. And this stuff, I made the mistake at home. I made a gallon. And I drank it like it was Kool-Aid. Oh my gosh. I'm like, why am I shaking so much? I feel like I need to work out or something. So, 7 fundamental skills we're going to talk about. 7 fundamental skills if you want to become a network marketing professional. There are amateurs, there are posers, and there are professionals, right? When people ask me, what's the one skill, what's the one thing that I should focus on if I want to be successful in building an Herbalife business? What's the one thing? My answer is always the same. Build the skills. If you develop the skills, you don't have to worry about luck. You don't have to worry about timing. You don't have to worry about your company having everything, or your country having everything figured out. You don't have to worry about having a great upline. You don't have to worry about any of those things. You're good. If you have the skills, I'm talking about skills so good that they could drop you out of an airplane with a parachute. You don't have any ID, no money, all you have is a Herbalife opportunity to drop you into a country where you don't even speak the language, and you could quickly be building a network. That kind of skills. Okay? Because if you develop the skills, everything else will take care of themselves. And the good news for you, the good news for me, I was a terrible student growing up in school. Okay? So for any of you who have children who are struggling in school, there's hope. Just telling you. I was a 1.7 GPA high school student, bottom 20% of my class. Barely escaped high school. And I had 18 jobs by the time I was 23 years old. And then I joined network marketing. For my first 3.5 years, I struggled. And then I made a decision to go pro. I made a decision to learn the skills. I made a decision to become world class. Okay? And once I made that decision, up until that moment, the dominating emotion that I had in my body was fear. The fear that I wasn't enough, fear that I was in the wrong team, I lived in the wrong part of the world. You know, nobody would give a young guy a chance. I didn't have an education. I had no credibility. I was fearful all the time that I was going to miss it. And once I made the decision, I'm going to become an expert, the fear left my body. And I had a plan. And I stopped comparing myself to other people, and I just focused on what I needed to do. And I knew it might take me a little bit of time, and it does. Here's the good news. The skills that I'm about to share with you, every one of you could learn them. There's nothing stopping you from learning them. And you can master them pretty quickly. Do we have any doctors in the room? Any doctors? Where? Doctor? How many years did you go to university? How many years did you go to education to become a doctor? 6 years? And then 10 years on top? 10 years total. Yeah. 16 years? Yeah. Sounds like a lot. Yes. Before they'll let you practice on a human being. So 16 years of study. I can't get most network marketing distributors to give me 16 hours. When was the last time you practiced anything? Seriously. You don't practice. You're carving on your prospects. You're doing surgery on your prospects, and you haven't even studied at all. True? That's where you're learning, is when you're going in front of your prospects. It's like, come on. At some point, you got to study a little bit. Will you give me 10 hours for each of these 7 skills of just practice? Because if you will, I'll put you on a path towards independence. My goal for each and every one of you is to help you become independent from anyone, independent from your upline. Love them, friends with them, friends forever, hopefully, but you don't need them. Independent from anyone, that you can go build a business with or without anybody's help. Okay? If you just give me 10 hours from each of these skills, I can show you how to become independent. Okay? Is that a fair trade? Okay. How many agree that that's a fair trade? All right, good. So there's 7 fundamental skills we're going to talk about. 7 fundamental skills. Throw them up, please. Skill number 1 is finding prospects. I didn't think that was a skill. I thought either you knew a lot of people or you didn't. You were either influential or you weren't. Right? You're a powerful person or you were a weak person. I didn't think that that was a skill. So we have some successful people here with big pins. I see some big pins around. Right? You have a big pin. Well, you have a couple pins. Huh? Not big enough. It's never big enough. That can be played a lot of different ways. I'll leave that one alone. Who's president's team here? All of you. Wow. Okay, so let me ask you a question. How long have you been involved in Herbalife? 34 years. How many people have you recruited, do you think, in those 34 years, approximately? Just people who wanted to build a business. 2,000. How many of them did you know the day that you joined? How many that you signed up did you know the day you joined? 0. 0. So I would ask the same with all the other presidents' team. What percentage of your current team did you know the day you joined? What percentage? 25%? 3? 5? Very low? 5? 0? 10? 0? 7? 2? 1? 1? 2? 0? What does that tell you? How did they get to president's team? It's the people they met after they joined. They learned the skill of networking and finding people to talk to and building relationship and building rapport. So there is a skill to finding people to talk to. Okay? We all start with the people that we know, but we don't end there. We start there just to get us going. But then we become networkers. We network. We collect friends. We build relationships. We build trust. We build rapport. And from that rapport, we have an opportunity to communicate with those people. And when we can once we can communicate with them, we have an opportunity to educate them. And that's our goal, is to educate people to the point that they understand what you have in Herbalife, right? So finding prospects is one of the 7 skills. So let's go through the 7 real quick, and then I'll break down each one. Throw that back up on the screen, please. Finding prospects, number 1, inviting people to take a look. Number 2, I thought people would at least want to look. I found out I was wrong. People resisted looking. Like, all I want you to do is look. I'm too busy. I'm not interested. How can you not be interested? It's impossible. You don't even know what I'm inviting you to. Presenting. How do you present in a way that works but also duplicates? It's important. You can present in a way that works, but if it doesn't duplicate, if it only works for you, it's a problem. You have to get that presentation so simple that it'll work for everyone. Skill number 4, follow-up. It's true, the fortune is in the follow-up. Inside of follow-up is answering questions, overcoming objections. That used to terrify me. I'll teach you how to do that today. How to overcome objections and answer questions. It's not as scary as you think. Questions are your friend and objections are your friend. I didn't used to think that. I used to think they were my terrible enemy. It used to just terrify me every time somebody would give me an objection. Is this one of those things? Didn't know what to do. So next, closing. A lot of people don't like it when I use the word closing, but if you have people who are thinking about joining, how do you help them join? Thinking about becoming a customer, how do you help them become a customer? Thinking about becoming a distributor, how do you help them become a distributor? And this skill, it works for everything. You need to learn how to close, how to get people to make the decision to be an extravaganza, how to get people to make the decision to make the push for Premier League, how to get people to make the decision to become a supervisor, how to get people to make the decision to use the products every day. Same skills. So once people are ready to make a decision, you got to help them. You have to be skillful in helping somebody make a decision that they want to make. You never want to convince somebody to do something that they didn't want to do. Never, ever, ever. You won't build a big team doing that. Sometimes the professional salespeople really struggle because they make the sale, but the person doesn't stay. We're in a relationship business, not just in sales business. We're in a relationship business. So closing is skill number 5. Skill number 6 is getting people started. This is the duplication skill. How do you get somebody going? How do you get somebody moving? How do you get somebody making progress? Okay? How do you get them off to a good start? I like the word launch. How do you launch somebody? Get them their first check. Remember your first check? First time you got a check from the company, you went, this might actually be real. I'm going to go do this. Getting that first check is a big thing. And then skill number 7, promoting events. So we're going to walk through all of these skills, all 7 of these skills, over the course of the next 1 hour and 18 minutes. Fair enough? Can you make it for 1 hour and 18 minutes? Will you promise to take notes? Okay. Here's why I'm asking you to take notes. And I learned this from my mentor, Jim Rohn. You take notes for a couple reasons. One, for yourself. Because at some point during these next 1 hour and 18 minutes, your mind is going to leave your body. It's going to leave this room. It's going to go someplace else. You're going to be thinking about plans. You're going to be thinking about your kids. You're going to be thinking about other stuff. Just make sure you keep writing. If you're not taking notes, if you're too cool to take notes, I will tell you, the palest ink is better than the best memory. Write it down. Write it down. Okay? Number for you. Like listening to Jim Rohn or listening to anybody else or reading a good book. If you've ever read How to Win Friends and Influence People, you can read it the first time and you get something, right? And then 6 months later, read it again. You get something different because you're different. 2 years later, read it again. You get something different because you're different. So every time you go through these notes, you should be able to get something different. Go, now I understand. I see what he was trying to talk about. I didn't get it then. I wrote it down. I thought I got it. But now that I've practiced a little bit, now I understand. Okay? So that's the first reason for you. Second reason is this should become something like a teacher's manual for you. That your notes should be so powerful, so strong, that you can open to any page and do a Zoom for your team. Any page. Say, what Zoom should I do for my team this week? Just open to a page, randomly. Do that page. Should be that good. How many here have ever been a teacher? Raise your hands if you've ever been a teacher. A teacher. Okay, who learns more, the student or the teacher? The teacher. So guess how you're going to remember this information. You don't learn this when you remember it. You learn this when you can't forget it. Okay? And guess who learns things forever? Teachers. So when you take this information and you go home to all the people that should have been here, please, as quickly as possible, teach it. Teach it to them. Because as you teach it to them, they'll hear it once. You'll hear it over and over and over and over and over again. And every time you hear it, it'll sink into your brain and it'll cause you to operate at a higher level. You understand? Okay. So you ready to get going? If you're ready, say I'm ready. All right, fantastic.
I'm ready.
Yes, we got the delay going. Hey, would you do me a favor and would you give these translators a big round of applause? 26 languages. They're doing an unbelievable job. Thank you so much. So, let's talk about skill number 1, finding prospects. And I'm going to give you some things that you can take pictures of, okay? Here's where to find people. Where to find people. This is a skill. Here's 10 places you can find people. Just 10 just to get you started. Your phone, every single person that's in your phone. If they haven't joined as a distributor, they should be on a distributor list. If they haven't joined as a customer, they should be on a customer list. Every single one. Give them all a chance to become educated. Even if you don't think that they're going to join you, even if they said no before, put them on the list. Email lists, social media, this is the biggest. This is a little bit of work. Every single follower you have on social media. My suggestion to you is write them down. I'm a little bit old school. Write them down. Write down their name, their contact information, and what platform you found them on. If they follow you on Instagram, write them down. If they follow you on Facebook, write them down. If they're connected on LinkedIn, write them down. If they're on WhatsApp, write them down. Create a list. Again, expand your list. If you have any address books, any other lists, friends of friends. You have all the people that you know. Let's say you know 1,000 people. Well, they probably all know 1,000 people too. So 1,000 times 1,000 is how much? It's 1,000,000. So you're 1 degree away from 1,000,000 people. That you have a common friend. And you can go to that common friend and say, hey, guess what? We both know this person. And you can start a conversation. It may seem like, well, that seems like it's a little bit of a stretch. No, not for professionals. It's 1,000,000 people. You should never have to worry about who to talk to for the rest of your life if you treat this like a professional. So think of friends and friends, and the social media platforms will tell you. Here's the people you have mutual friends with. Number 7, people you do business with. Add that to your list. If you do business with somebody, they need to be on your list because they need to be doing business with you. 100%. I'll talk more about that later. Former associates, people you used to work with, people in different professions. You know what I used to do back in the day? This will really age me, man. They used to have this thing in the United States called the Yellow Pages. Did they ever have that here? At the beginning, there was a glossary that went from A to Z, and I used to rip out the glossary and just start with A, accountant, B, barber, C, chiropractor, D, dentist, or whatever it was. I went through every profession there was to get my mind to think about who I was forgetting. And I would use that to build my list. I'd suggest you do the same thing. Get as comprehensive a list of professions as you can think of, and use that to grow your list because there's tons of people that you're not thinking about. If I say, well, do you know anybody? You say no. I say, well, do you know any chiropractors or do you know any dentists? You say, well, yeah, I know 6 dentists. Oh. Well, add the dentist. Let's start there. All right, so people in different professions, people in different cities or states or countries. How many countries are you involved in? 95 as far as I've heard. 95 countries. Let me say this a different way. In the next 5 years, if you don't have at least 70% of your business, of your volume points coming from outside of your home country, I believe you've missed an opportunity. 5 years from today, you need to consciously make a decision to find people in other cities, other countries, other markets, and expand your business into those markets. And you can expand there without going there, at least at first. Eventually you can go there and support, but you don't have to go there right away. If you're in 95 countries, guess what I would be thinking? How do I have at least a supervisor, personally sponsored, or in my business in 95 different countries? That's what I'd be thinking. How many would like to have that? It's available. It's available. The country will go ahead and support you. My head's gonna blow off my shoulders. I'm telling you. But it's so tasty. So, this is where to find people. What I want you to end up with is to create an active candidate list. And at every event, here's a good discipline. Every time you come together at Extravaganza, every time you come together at a major event, create a new list. Freshen up your list. But 100, 200, 300, 500, whatever, however you want, many you want to make. But an active candidate list. What do I mean by active? Something that you're constantly growing. It's constantly a living, breathing thing. You're constantly adding notes to it. This is what's going on with this person's life. This is what's going on with that person's life. But an active candidate list. Here's a pro tip. This is something that I learned that helped me so much because I was very frightened that I didn't know enough people. So I was taught by my mentor, add 2 people a day to my list. Don't let a day go by that I don't add at least 2 people. Because if you add 2 people a day, that's 624 new people a year. That's 3,120 people, new people to talk to in 5 years. So add those to your list and find a creative way to stay in touch. And guess what's a creative way to stay in touch? Social media. Say hello, SMS, say hi. You don't have to call them, you don't have to sit down for coffee, but you can stay in touch. That's all you have to do. 2 a day. You're like, where am I going to find these 2? Whatever your passion, who has a passion outside of network marketing? Raise your hands. What's your passion? Somebody tell me. Fitness. CrossFit. What is it? It's like CrossFit. What else? Dancing. Music. Volunteer. Could you find groups online for all of these ideas and make friends inside of those groups and bring value to those groups and make a couple friends a day, friend them up, find a creative way to stay in touch? That's what professionals do. They collect friends. Okay, so collect at least 2 new friends a day, find a creative way to stay in touch, stay in conversation with them, and off you go. So, and what I want you to do, once you've created this list, I want you to kind of grade your list. I want you to rank your list, okay? Because here's what I really want more than anything else. I want you to make progress. I believe that progress is perfection. Find a way to make progress. So instead of starting with your hardest people, I want you to start with your easiest. Who are your easiest customers? Who's going to support you no matter what? Who owes you something? And what I mean by that, maybe you helped them move or you were there for them at a difficult time in their life and they can be there for you now. Who's people, somebody you do business with right now? Who desperately needs your products? Who's somebody who can afford your products? Rank them easiest to hardest. Let's start with the easiest, get you some customers, and then we'll eventually get to everybody. But let's start with the easiest, fair enough? Same thing with distributors. As you look at your list, here's what I used. I had a little star system. I would put a star next to somebody's name if they had one of these things. 9 stars was like the best. If they were entrepreneurial, they got a star. If they were money motivated, they got another star. If they were a nonconformist, if they were rebellious, which I like nonconformists, they got another star. If they looked up to me, they got another star. They were easier to recruit. If they were ambitious, they got another star. If they were open-minded people, they got another star. If they would like to work with me, they got another star. If they were dissatisfied, this is a big one, then they got another star. And this is my favorite. If they were competitive, oh. How many here are competitive? Raise your hands. Yeah. How many are not competitive? For those of you not competitive, nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong with you. Here's what I would tell you. Just compete with you. Just compete with you. There doesn't need to be winners and losers. It's totally okay. Okay? You can go all the way to the top, not being competitive with other people at all. But for the rest of you, sometimes you need to have a competitor to pull the best out of you. You need to have somebody pushing you. Okay? If I find somebody who's competitive, I can use that. As a sponsor, I can use that to cause them to take more action. Because if I have Amrtad here and I have Leon, and Amrtad's doing something, and I tell Leon, guess what? Amrtad thinks he's better than you. Leon says, no, you don't understand. And then I go back to Amrtad and says, guess what? Leon says he's going to beat you at this thing. And Amrtad says, oh, really? Now I got something going. I'm going to make it go back and forth like crazy. I will get so much more productivity out of competition than anything. I can go to a person and say, I'm looking for somebody to be #1 in this city. I'm just looking for someone. Can you help me find them? And if I find a competitive person, they might want to be that person to become #1. So 9 stars total, but rank them easiest to hardest. The 9 stars first, and then the 8 stars, then the 7s, then the 6s, then the 5s. You can eventually get to everybody. 4, 3, 2, 1. You might even have some 0-star people that you'll talk to. That's fine. But make a list, rank the list. Okay? Now I want you to write down a phrase, 4 words that I think are one of the most important phrases in all of network marketing. All business is conversation. All business is conversation. All business is conversation. You don't have a quality problem, most of you. You have a quantity problem. You're not talking to enough people. Now, we don't have time today. If I had an extra hour, we would do a conversation challenge live today. We did a conversation challenge in Mexico. We had a little extra time. And we took 1 hour, and we had 20,000 people approximately take 1 hour, and all they did live while we were in the room is started as many conversations as they could start. And the goal was 100 conversations in 1 hour. Just to start them, say hello. And to pretend that they didn't have a business, they didn't have a product. Just be a human being and say hello to somebody that they knew, right? So we averaged about 50 conversations, which means we did 1 million conversations in 1 hour. 1 million in 1 hour. Here's what I want you to think about. You heard earlier from our Premier League people this idea about filling the funnel. If there's a funnel and you have a dropper of honey, you drop 1 drip of honey into the edge of that funnel, will the honey make it all the way through to the bottom? It won't. It'll dry up. It'll just dry up on the side, and it'll get crusty, it'll get hard, and it'll be done. And that's how most of you are prospecting. You're saying, well, I'm doing one a week. Drip, 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 drip. 52 times a year, drip. Why is nothing coming through? Drip, drip. Just getting crusty and nasty. Looks ugly. And you're wondering if there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with the prospect. You're just not doing enough quantity. Because if you pour the honey into that funnel, it will flow. If you drip it 1 little thing at a time, reason why I said success loves speed earlier, if you're gonna, look, let's say you want to recruit 20 people, okay? Let's take these 2 tables, 20 people, and you're all president's team, right? Superstars. So, amazing people. And let's say I recruit one a month, one of you a month for the next 30 months. Okay? Is it good? Here's what I would tell you. If I take these 20 and I bring them in one a month for 30 months, every one of them will feel alone. Every one of them will feel like an orphan. Every one of them will feel abandoned. Every one of them will feel like an outsider. Every one of them will feel disconnected from the team. Every single one will feel like lonely. Now, if I take the same 20 people, and instead of 30 months, I bring them in 30 weeks. Same 20. Am I going to get better results? I'm going to bring them in anyway. 30 weeks. The results are 10x. Then one a month for 30 months. All right? Or 20 and 30 months. I do 20 and 30 weeks, I'm going to get a better result. What if I do 20 in 30 days? Same 20 people. What kind of results am I going to get? Now they're all part of the same family. Now they're competing with each other, they're friends with each other, they're learning from each other. They're developing friendships and they're helping solve problems and they're providing accountability to each other and they're pushing each other and they're being examples for each other. Now, what if I took those same 20 and brought them in 30 hours? What's going to get better results? 30 hours, 30 weeks, 30 hours, 30 days, 30 weeks, or 30 months? 30 hours, it's obvious.
20 persone in
So
30
here's my
hours.
point. If you're going to bring the 20 in anyway, get it over with. Just do it. Just put your head down and do it. Doing one a month is kind of mean. It's not nice. If you're the nicest thing you can do is bring a group in. Because now they have kind of a family to be able to work with. You understand? You have to be so special to be by yourself and go to the president's team. And not have any camaraderie with anybody else. You have to be so outrageously amazing. But if you come in with a group, your chances are much, much higher. You understand? So as you're talking about prospecting and building a team, I just want you to be thinking about this idea. You could go drip, 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 or you could pour it in. And let the weight of that honey just flow. And then just keep pouring it in, so it keeps flowing. Because if you just pour it in once, it's going to flow, and then it's going to stop. If you keep pouring it in, it's going to keep creating Premier League, supervisors, Pres team, Mill team, Get team, chairman. It's going to keep producing. You understand? All right. We are in the networking business. Your network is your net worth. We're in the networking business, building relationships. Whether you're introverted or extroverted, I'm an introverted person. So they say only do what you love. That was scary for me, to build conversation with people that I didn't really know, to prospect people I didn't really know. I'm kind of a conservative person by nature, I'm Norwegian. You know, so I'm not really that outgoing. I could be situationally extroverted. Guess how I tricked myself into recruiting? Here's how I tricked myself, because I knew I had to do it. Because if I didn't do it, there's only so much I was going to sell, and eventually I was going to be out of business. So I pretended that, like, this jacket was my recruiting clothes. And I would take a month, to say it was the month of October, and I'd put my recruiting clothes on, and all I would do is recruit. Nothing else. I didn't support, I didn't help, I didn't do anything, I didn't do any three-way calls with anybody, I didn't do any Zooms, I did nothing. All I did was recruit, 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 All day, every day, that's all I did was income producing activity, recruiting activity, until I recruited enough people that they were pulling at me saying, we need help, we need help, we need help, we need help. And then once I got to that point, usually it was around 20 people, I took my recruiting clothes off and I put my support clothes on. I was like, oh, thank God. Now, let's help them get to Premier League. Now, let's help them get on their way, get on their path to supervisor. I love that part, but I didn't like the recruiting part, so I got it over with as quick as I could. And then once I kicked those out of the nest and they were all flying on their own, right? They moved out. Then I was like, I gotta put it on again. And some of you, how many of you have been around more than 10 years? Some of you, your recruiting clothes feel like they're wet, muddy, heavy, nasty clothes. And you don't want to put them on again. You're like, I've done this before. I've already done this. I don't feel like doing it. Don't make me put them on again. Because, no, I've done this already. Please let me just support my team. I just want to can I just be a trainer? I'll go to the markets. I'll be on the Zooms. I'll show up at Extravaganza. I'll be good. Just don't make me put the muddy clothes on again. I can't do it. I'm asking you, pull those muddy clothes out of the closet, put it back on. The world needs you. The world needs your wisdom. Okay, please. Like I said, most of you don't have a quality problem. Most of you have a quantity problem. You're not talking to enough people. And if we had time, we would have a conversation challenge right now. And I would ask you to just pull your phone out, start with A, start with Z, whatever you got to do, but figure out a way to start as many conversations as you could possibly start. But instead, and in those conversations, let me tell you something, because I'm going to challenge you to do these conversations in the next, between now and the end of the month. Fair enough? If I give you a challenge, how many are willing to accept a conversation challenge between now and the end of the month? Ready to change your life, change your business? All right, fantastic. How many won't raise their hands no matter what I say? You rebellious people, you. Nonconformists. I understand. I'm the same. Whenever I'm at a Tony Robbins event and they're saying you need to jump and jump and jump, I'm not jumping. I understand. I'm the same. So in this conversation challenge, here's what we're going to do. I want you to start as many conversations as you can between now and the end of this month. And for now, I want you to forget that you have a product, and I want you to forget that you're involved in Herbalife. I just want you to be a human being, starting as many conversations as humanly possible. Okay? Just say hello. Just say hello. Say what you would normally say if you didn't have a product. Say what you would normally say if you didn't have a business. Say hello. How are you? How are the kids? How's the family? What's going on? How's work? What are you doing for fun? What are your plans for the holidays? Whatever you would normally say. Some of you can just, if you want to have fun with this conversation challenge, just send an emoji. Nothing else. Be careful with some of the emojis. But it's like, I didn't know what that meant. Well, you'll find out. If you send a fire emoji to somebody, is that going to get their attention? Yeah, they're like, what's with the fire emoji? What? I just thought, I saw your name, I thought about you. I'd always thought, I think that you're fire, so I just thought that I'd send you a fire emoji. Or you could send them a thumbs up. They're like, what the heck's with the thumbs up? Thumbs up just means I like you. I just wanted to just tell you I like you. Hi, how's your life? Or you can, if you really want to mess with them, just send them a question mark. They're like, what are you doing? What's with the question mark? And then if they don't respond, send them 2 question marks. That'll really get them. Awesome. And if they ghost you after that, send them 3 question marks. Oh my God. They're like, what the heck's going on with the question marks? And then once they respond, they say, I was just wondering how you're doing. You don't have to, this doesn't have to be like going to the dentist. You can have fun, okay? Just network. Build relationship, have fun. Build friendships, right? So here's the conversation challenge. You can choose whichever one you want. 10 conversations. You can start 10 conversations between now and the end of the month. 25 conversations, or at least 100 conversations. Okay? How many are willing to accept the 100 conversation challenge? Raise your hands. You can copy paste if you want.
Amazing.
Copy paste is fine. Let me give you a pro tip. Don't copy paste too much on one platform at the same time. Be careful. If you copy paste inside of Facebook more than like 10 times, they're going to put you in Facebook jail. Same thing with Instagram. Be careful. So you got to rotate. 10 here, and then go to Instagram, then go to WhatsApp, and then go to X, and then back over to Facebook. Have fun. So how to engage in conversations? Here's what I want you to do. Be normal. Just have a normal conversation. Remember, you don't have a product, and you don't have a business. You don't need to worry about what you're going to do with this. Just have an appropriate conversation. Now, if you're talking to a real friend, are you going to talk with them 20 times in one day? No, so don't be weird. If you're a woman talking to a man or a man talking to a woman, make sure that they know that it's not something different than a normal conversation. You understand what I'm saying? Guys, be careful. If you send a message to a woman, make sure that that woman doesn't feel like it's some sort of a setup. Same thing in reverse. Keep it appropriate, keep it fun, keep it light. You know what most of my conversations are with my friends? Memes. I just send memes, funny memes, back and forth to my friends. I see a meme, it makes me think of somebody, I send it to them. I see a meme that makes fun of a sports team that is my friend's favorite sports team. Well, I have to send them that meme. Do you know what I mean by a meme? Like a funny thing. Something funny on Instagram, something funny on Facebook, whatever. Right? I find a funny thing and I send them that funny thing. And then just start with hello, say what you would normally say, no script, no business agenda, don't ask for anything. Find out if you can help them in any way. Is there anything you can help them with their business? Do they need referrals? Do they need introductions to anybody? Be a friend. Just be normal. And the goal goal is to keep the conversation going, like tennis. You're gonna hit the ball over the net, they're gonna hit it back. Then you're gonna hit the ball over the net, they're gonna hit it back. Hi, how you doing? Great, how are you? I'm fantastic. Now the kids are back in school, what are you doing for fun? Are you enjoying yourself? Life is amazing, it's unbelievable. You've been doing anything interesting? Well, I started playing paddle tennis. Oh wow, I play paddle tennis too. What else is new in your life? How are the kids? What are you doing for work? What are you doing for fun? Where's your next vacation? And it doesn't have to be quick. It can be once a week. It can be once every 3 days, whatever. Just pump the brakes. There's something that you need to learn to balance in our business. Is its urgency, because we all want to have it right now, and patience. It's so hard to balance both. I want to get it done now. You don't understand. I want to get to Premier League now. Yeah, I understand. If you want to get to Premier League fast, you need to have more conversations and let them happen naturally. Versus trying to just cram it down their throat. I gotta get 10 people to sign up and I need you to be one of them. We do that a lot in our business. We need to stop doing that. It's what gives us a bad rep. Would you agree? When we're too aggressive, let it happen. Let it happen. Just be normal. Because if you build enough rapport, here's what will happen, I promise you. There will come a point in this conversation. It might happen in a day, it might happen in a week, it might happen in a month, it might happen in 3 months, it might happen in a year. But at some point, there's going to be a natural transition to your product or to the opportunity. There will come an opening where you can talk about your product or your opportunity and it'll feel natural. Okay? And if they never become a customer, stay friends. Please don't be one of those people that's only going to try and be friends with somebody if they're a prospect. Don't be that person. Okay? Please. Be a friend no matter what. You can manage thousands of friends through social that you couldn't manage over the phone. So there's a transition point. And the transition, the conversation, it'll either happen from them to you. They'll say, so what are you up to? What are you doing? I see you've lost weight. How did you lose so much weight? You're getting in shape. What's different? Right? Or are you still doing that Herbalife thing? Or if anything changed in your business? Or what's going on? If they ask you some sort of question that opens the door, great. Then use that to be able to take that conversation where it needs to go. Or you to them. I'll give you some of my favorite me to thems. Give you a few of my favorites. What's your name? Tommy? How you doing, Tommy? Tommy's a big deal. How would I didn't even know. I picked a superstar. So, if I'm talking with Tommy back and forth, I'll give you some of my favorites. I'm talking with Tommy, we're just talking about nothing. 3 weeks later, I sent him a message, said, Tommy, listen, I have an idea, and it might be a crazy idea, but I cannot get it out of my head. And it might not make any sense. But do you have a couple minutes? Can I talk to you? So I'm going to message him now. Now, in the transition, here's what's really important. You have to get off the platform that you're having the conversation on You must get off the platform and get voice to voice or face to face. It could be Zoom, it could be FaceTime, it could be WhatsApp video, it could be phone, but it cannot stay on the platform that you've been having the conversation on if you want to have success. You have to get off the platform. You'll get 10 times the result if you get off the platform. So I have to say, I have this crazy idea. I might be a lunatic. This might not make sense at all, but I can't get it out of my head. I've got to talk to you. Do you have a minute? He says yes. We get on the phone, and I say, Tommy, I'm involved in this business, and it's non-traditional, so I don't know if you're even open to non-traditional at all, but I keep thinking, I keep having this crazy idea that 1 plus 1 might add up to 10. You plus me might add up to something outrageously special. And I could be completely wrong. I might be totally off. But I'd like to show it to you, and feel free to say no at any time. Okay? The last thing I want you to do is feel uncomfortable. I just have this intuition about you and about what we could do together. If I sent you a video, would you take a look? For sure. Okay? So that's I have this crazy idea, I have this intuition, 1 plus 1 adds up to 10, you know, can we talk about it? And how many times did I tell him he could say no? A lot. I never told him you're gonna love this. As a matter of fact, you're gonna get better results if you say, you might not love this, than if you say, you're gonna love this. Isn't that weird? So that's one of my favorites, okay? You're gonna get results. I went to one guy who was worth like $150 million, super successful guy. And he'd been in network marketing before, okay? He was very successful in real estate. And I went to his office and I said, I have one question for you. He smiled and looked at me. I said, is there any situation, any possibility of you ever getting involved in network marketing again? Or is it completely 100% that door is closed? Is there anything that would ever open the door again? And he just laughed. He just threw his head back and laughed and laughed. He said, oh man, that's good. Oh man, that's good. He said, what do you got? So we could have a conversation, because I was honest. I didn't say I've got something great for you. He would have just said, please, I'm already wealthy. I just was humble and honest about it. Okay? Let me give you another one. What's your name? Shaka? Shahaf. How you doing, Shahaf? It's not the same. You must not be close to chairman. Yeah, he's gonna get there though. So, here's another of my favorites. Have you ever thought of starting a business before? Have you ever started your own business outside of, you haven't started your own business? Why not? I was just an employee. You know, why didn't you start a business though? Did you want to go into business for yourself ever in your life? It didn't cross your mind? Never? Why not? You're in your comfort zone. Okay, is there ever a situation where you would like to be in business for yourself? Yeah, if not, we're pretending you're not in Urbana. Yeah. He said yes, for sure. So, what kind of business would you like to start? Something involved with people. How much money do you think you need to start this business that you're thinking about? $200,000. Yeah. Do you have a couple $100,000? Not yet. So how long do you think it's going to take to get $200,000? Like how long? A couple of years? Wow, I mean, yeah, or you gotta take a loan. It's probably more likely to have to take a loan. Where would you get a loan? From the bank. So you'd have to have a pretty good idea to start a business to get a loan from the bank, right? And now you have to pay the bank back. Yeah. Is there any guarantee that your business is gonna succeed? No. So I can see why you haven't started a business yet. Yes, I understand. So what if there was a situation where you didn't have to put in a couple $100,000 and you didn't have to get a loan and you didn't have to borrow from your family and there was a lot of support taken care of for you and you could keep your job while you were building a business on the side until that business became successful enough for you to say no more to the job and you were full-time in a business. If that existed, would it be something you would be willing to take a look at? Tell me where to sign, he says. Is there anybody here that has had a business prior to Herbalife? You've had a business? What was your business? You used to sell t-shirts. All right, so if I ask you, hey, have you ever started your own business? Yes, you have. What was the business? Minimal way. Minimal way. What does that mean? Your body will do? You're trying to, you're trying to find a body, make bodybuilder shirts. Yes. You can show off your results, and you can basically make almost naked t-shirts. So you can show off your results in the gym without the gym owners kicking you out. That was your business. I understand. How did that business work out? How much did it cost to get started? Probably not that much, right? How much? 2,000 euros? Okay. So, are you still in that business? No? Why not? You found an easier way to make money. Okay. Pretend Herbalife doesn't exist. Okay? So, you started this business. You're selling almost naked t-shirts. What kind of margin did you have in the t-shirts, in the t-shirt business? What was the most you ever made? Selling about 5 items a day? Yes, so how much did you make in a month? 500 euros a month. How many hours were you working? So you're at the gym all day. It was a side hustle business. So 500 euros, side hustle business, but you're basically full-time. Always trying to sell something, right? Yeah. Did that ever get tiring? Did you have, how many locations did you have? It was just you. Did you have any employees? Just an accountability partner, somebody to push you. I know, but did you have people at different locations? So you'd have to travel by yourself to different gyms to run around with your duffel bag full of almost naked t-shirts. And you'd work out in your almost naked stuff and show off your body. Yeah, show off the pecs. I get it. So, let's say Herbalife didn't come along. Did that business eventually did you get tired of it? Or did you find Herbalife and then you transition? I'll repeat this. Yes. So he saw a Robert Kiyosaki interview, he educated himself about network marketing, and he saw that there was a better way to be able to go out there and make a living, and he made a transition, okay? But, well done. You got it. So here's what I'm going to tell you. What I'm going to tell you is this. No matter what, and the answer a person gives me is, have you started a business? If they say yes, how did it go? Most of the time they're going to tell me it was difficult. It was challenging. It wasn't worth the money. It was tough. And what if there was an easier way? I've got this crazy idea. Or, no, I haven't started my own business. Why not? I didn't have the money. I didn't have the time. It was too much risk. I didn't have a good idea. Right? What if that was all taken care of? I keep thinking about you. Since we've been talking, I keep thinking that here's my third favorite one. I keep thinking that you're too sharp to be making the money that you're making. You know what I mean? I think you're worth 10 times more than what you're getting paid right now. That in all my conversations, that's all I keep thinking, is that you're worth more. And I don't know if you're open to something different. If you are open to something different, we should talk. Because I have something, and I might be crazy, and it might not be for you, and please feel free to say no, but I feel an obligation that I should at least share with you. Would you be willing to take a look? And that's all I want to do, is get them to take a look. You understand? So those are 3 of my favorite transitions. 1 is I have a crazy idea. 2 is, have you ever started your own business? Right? 3 is, I keep thinking that you're worth more than what you're currently getting paid. And you deserve better. And I think there's a place for you to get paid more than you're currently getting paid. If you're open to a non-traditional approach. Those are very important words. If you're open to a non-traditional approach. This is not like a traditional business, and it's not like a traditional job, and you're going to have to take some heat because people are going to not understand the decisions that you're making in order to be able to change your life, okay? You've got to be able to accept that. If you let people know that up front, they'll listen all day. But if you don't, then they're going to fight you. When it comes time, when they go, oh, it's Herbalife? I told you it was not traditional. And secondly, you don't know Herbalife at all. Give me 10 minutes, let me show you this video. And I'll eliminate every doubt you've ever had in your life about this company. This thing's about to go on a run of a lifetime. 4th transition, it's one of my favorites, is where do you live? Where do you live? Idaho? Wow. You're not going to believe this. I'm looking to expand a business in Idaho. It's unbelievable. I can't believe that we've been having this conversation this whole time, and you live in Idaho, and I've been looking to expand a business there. Do you know anybody? Do you know anybody that's maybe ambitious, money motivated, competitive? Do you know anybody who's maybe looking for entrepreneurial, looking for opportunity in Idaho? You know 2 people? Could you introduce me? I'll make it worth your time. She says yes. Said, no matter where, on every one of your flights home, if you don't say, ask somebody where they're from, and if you don't say, you're not going to believe this. But I'm looking to expand a business in wherever they're going. Then you missed an opportunity. Do you understand? So do you see how you can take charge of transitioning the conversation? Does this empower you? These ideas? These are simple ideas, huh? Very simple ideas. But every one of them will work. And you can use them all. You can come back around, you can swing back around, they're too busy now, no problem. Set something on your phone to send them another message 10 days from now, but you gotta get off the platform you started, voice to voice, face to face. You can't stay on the platform that you're started on. How many understand that you cannot stay on the platform? Raise your hands. You gotta get off the platform and get face to face and voice to voice. Got it? All right. Now let's go turbocharge. Ready? We got finding prospects, we have inviting. Next is, when you're inviting, we're going to be inviting to third-party tools. Third-party tools. These are your best friend. Your own words is the worst tool to build a business. By far the worst tool. Your own words. You bringing the facts is the worst tool. A third-party tool is 10 times more powerful. You have a trust relationship with the prospect. The prospect will respect the third party more than they'll respect you. If our goal is education and understanding, we want to introduce the prospect. Once we open their minds to taking a look, we want to introduce them either to an event, to a tool, or to a person. An event, a tool, or a person. An event, a tool, or a person. You can decide. Events are the best, but they're hardest to get people to attend. A tool is easier, but you're going to have to do some more follow-up. A person is amazing, but they're not always available. So you're going to end up using a lot of tools. An event, a tool, or a person. Here's the rule. If your lips are moving, you need to be pointing, asking questions, pointing, reading, introducing, or telling a story. That's the rule. You don't give the facts. Let the tool give the facts. Okay? If you do that, you can create duplication. If you insist on giving the facts, then guess what? You don't get to have the same kind of duplication as you should get. Even if you're amazing, even if you're spectacular, you can't get the results because people can't do what you can do. But everybody can use a tool. Everybody can use a third-party tool. Your goal in every interaction is education and understanding. Third party is the fact giver. You make the introductions. You make the introductions. Now, I'm going to show you something very quickly. We don't have time to talk about this in detail, but I want to show you how to get support from your close friends and family. Who would like to learn how to get support from your close friends and family? Raise your hands. Who don't believe that you're ever going to get support from your close friends and family? Raise your hands. Here's a 7-step approach. Okay, just take a picture of this because I don't have time to go through it. Just take a picture. And I'll just tell you quickly, be in a hurry, contact your brother, your mother, your sister, your friend, compliment them, focus on how much they've supported you in your life, briefly mention that you're involved with Herbalife, quickly disqualify them from the business, say, this is not about you, I'm not trying to recruit you. As a matter of fact, this business is, I don't even think it's a good fit for you. Then tell them your story, and then ask for support. 4 ways to ask for support. Ask them to be your customer one time. Like if you open a restaurant, they come to your restaurant one time at least. Ask them to be your customer one time. Ask to practice your presentation on them. It's another way they can support you. Ask for referrals or introductions to others. That's a third way that they can support you. And here's the best way. Ask them to push you. Ask them to encourage you. Ask them to be your friend. Ask them to kick you in the butt if they see you slowing down. Ask them to be your accountability partner as that family member. And then finally follow up. Okay? That little approach right there, I'm telling you, it's golden. I could train that for over an hour, but I just did it in 2 minutes. Take that, please, use it. You'll create so much support within your organization. And if you go to your close friends and family right now and you get resistance, that means you made them feel uncomfortable at some point. So you need to go back and say sorry. I'm sorry. I pushed too hard. I just got too excited. Please forgive me. Your friendship, your relationship is more important to me than this business or any product sale. And if I made you feel uncomfortable, I sincerely apologize. I won't do it again. Okay? Rebuild the relationship and start the conversation over again. There will become a gap and the door will open again. And you will find a way after you've rebuilt trust to be able to make it happen. 3 different ways to invite people to take a look at what you have. A direct approach. Hey, I have something for you. Come check it out. Or 2, hey, I need your help, guidance. Indirect. Direct is I have something for you. Indirect is I need your help, your support, your guidance, your wisdom, your knowledge, your experience, your advice. If I showed this to you, would you look at it for me? Would you help me poke holes in it? Would you try this product out? Tell me if you think it'll sell in your market. Would you be my customer in Idaho?
Sto facendo addosso.
Tell me if you think it'll sell there. Or super indirect. And super indirect is you're not a prospect. I already know you're way too successful for this. But I also know that most of the successful people I know are interested in cash flow. And there's probably a lot of people that you know that are super entrepreneurial that you're not making money with right now anyway. If you can introduce them to me, I'll plug them into the system and I'll make sure it's worth your time. I know you're not a prospect. It's not for you. Super indirect is an amazing approach. It will help you grow a business, I promise. So, inviting to a third-party tool. Let me teach you how to invite to a video, for example. This is my favorite script. I couldn't get people to watch my video, right? And I'm working with the company to create the mother of all videos. The most amazing, spectacular, outstanding, world-class, not MLM feeling video ever. I can't wait for you to have it. It's going to be unreal. But this little script, Mr. Almost Chairman, what's your name again? Tommy. Everybody, Tommy. It's Tommy. So Tommy, let's say we're talking, and I give him my crazy idea, and I say, hey, would you look at it? He says, yeah. I said, I have a link to a video that explains this better than I could explain it. If I sent you this link, question number 1, would you watch it? Yes, you'll send it. You'll watch it. When can you see it for sure? Step 2. When can you watch it for sure? Tomorrow. So, if I contact you after tomorrow, you'll see it for sure, right? All right, what's the best way and best time for me to contact you? In the afternoon? You want me to SMS or call you? SMS. SMS, what time? Day after tomorrow. 6 p.m. All right, at 6 p.m., I'm going to send you an SMS. Between now and then, you'll see it, okay? I learned if I follow those 4 steps, I get 90% of people will watch a video. If I just send them a video, or if I say, will you watch it, I send it to them, they never watch it. It's like 10% will watch it. I can take 10% to 90% with these 4 questions. Okay? Let's say I ask Tommy, hey, I know. She's letting me know. I have 15 minutes left and I cannot go over. not good. It's Tommy's fault. It's Tommy's fault. Blame Tommy. Okay. Here's what I will tell you. If Tommy says, hey, I'm really, really busy right now, I say, listen, I don't care when you watch it. Just give me a time you can watch it for sure. He said, I'm going to watch it January 1st. Fantastic. So if I call you on January 2nd, you'll see it for sure, right? Yep. All right. What's the best way for me to contact you January 2nd? And that's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to get myself up to 90% if I do that. You understand? So that little script will work. So here's a formula for success. To get formulas for success for all of you. Start before you're ready. Don't quit. And get better every day. Start before you're ready. Don't quit. And get better every single day. So finding prospects, number 1, inviting, number 2, presenting, number 3. All you're going to do is present using a third-party tool. We've already talked about this. You're going to tell your story, you're going to use events, you're going to use tools, and you're going to use people. There's 4 parts to your story. We're not going to go through that now because I cannot go over. Go ahead to the next. Following up. The goal is keep the conversation going. We've already talked about this. Start a conversation, keep it going, just like playing tennis. Just keep it going, and look for the transition. Keep it going and wait for the transition. If the transition doesn't work, keep it going, and then wait for the next transition. It'll come, I promise. They'll open the door or you'll open the door. The main reason for every exposure is to schedule the next exposure. If you don't finish one exposure without scheduling the next one, you screwed up. You got to go back and start again. Go past the clock bell. So with questions and objections, understand this. Questions are your friend. All they do is help clarify the opportunity for the prospect. Anytime somebody asks a question, what are we going to use? Third party. This list of tools are your best friend. They do the presentation, they answer questions, they overcome objections. They're what you're going to use to create duplication. So questions are your friend and objections are your friend too. They seem negative, but they're actually positive. Show them a list of all the objections. Here's some common objections. I'm sure you've seen and heard all these. Pyramid scheme, everything else, all that stuff. There's really only 2. People have a limiting belief about themselves or they have a limiting belief about network marketing. That's it. And once you understand that, objections get easy. Let's get past the next, please. So for closing, what to say at the end of each exposure. 6 quick questions. Throw all the questions up. What did you like best? Is the best question after every exposure. After my friend Tommy watches the video, I'm going to say, what did you like best? And he's going to give me an answer. And I'm going to say on a scale of 1 to 10. 10, you ready to start? Where are you? I'm a 7. Hypothetically, how much would you need to earn in order for this to be worth your time? Realistically, how many hours a week could you commit to building that type of income? How many months would you be willing to work those hours while you were building that kind of income? And if I could show you how to get that kind of money in those hours and in those months, would you be willing to at least take the next step? That's all I'm looking to do. You follow these 6 questions, I'm telling you, this works in every culture, in every country in the world, in every circumstance with every product. Use these 6 questions, memorize them, practice them. Remember I asked you for 10 hours of practice? Practice these 6 questions for 10 hours with your friends, and you'll be unstoppable. Most people won't practice 1 hour, but practice 10 hours, and you'll be unstoppable. Go past the next, please. Getting people started, here's what I would tell you on getting people started. You need to have a flow. And the best of you have a good flow for getting somebody started. It's what I call the crucial conversation. And just some basics in the crucial conversation. Take a picture of these 10 things. Show somebody how to get started, how to get launched, what are the success concepts, how to get connected to the organization, how to prepare for success, become a raving fan of the product, how to tell your story, how to deal with your hot market, your friends and family, how to go out to your warm market and start prospecting, and aim everybody to Premier League using whatever DMO that you're using that's working for you. Aim them all there, okay? And this is just a conversation to have at the beginning of somebody else's business. And number 7, promoting events. We all know that big decisions happen at events. Leaders are born at events. Reinvention happens at events. People get inspired at events. Proximity is power. And there's a big difference between different types of people when it comes to events. There's people who just attend. That's what they do, they attend. And then there's those who announce there's going to be extravaganza. And then there's those who invite, you should come join me. And then there's promoters. Promoters are the ones who make all the money in network marketing. And I'm going to say something that's going to sound outrageous. But if you don't have people quitting your business because you will not shut up about the next extravaganza, if you don't have people saying, enough, I can't hear it anymore, then you're not talking about it enough. I'm dead serious. You have to be so outrageous over the top when it comes to events. If you're not that hardcore about it, then you're only getting a fraction of what it's really worth, because events are where lives change. Decide to master events and decide to master all 7 of these skills. Here's what I gotta tell you. You were given a checklist when you came in from lunch. How many have their checklists in their language? I want to go through it with you together quickly. Are you ready? These are all simple commitments. But if you and your team will make them, everything will change. Commitment number 1. Commit to making progress towards your own personal health and wellness goals. My personal health and wellness goals is to get to 15% body fat or less and less than 1 pound of visceral fat while maintaining my muscle mass. Okay? That's my personal goal by honors. Okay? You can hold me accountable. I was at 34%, I'm at 21% now. I'm going to get myself to 15. By the time I get there, I'm just going to be shredded. I'm just going to be ripped. I'm going to get one of his t-shirts that's just going to barely cover my stuff. So I will give you the same challenge that Stefan gave me. Represent the brand. Represent the brand. Michael Johnson represents the brand. That guy, if I got on a bicycle with that guy, he'd kill me in about 15 minutes. He is in such amazing shape. He is so inspiring to me. He pushes me so hard. We're sending memes and conversation back and forth. It's like, I told him tomorrow I'm gonna crush you. He said, yeah, I'm traveling. I said, yeah, I know. I'm going to crush you. When it comes to strain, I'm going to get you. But some of you have been slacking, and you know it. You've been slacking on the product. You've been slacking on getting in the gym. You've been on cruise control. Some of you haven't. Some of you are shredded. Some of you look amazing. Okay? I wish I looked like you. But I will tell you, for some of you, you need to represent the brand. Okay? And you can. If I can, you can. I'm just starting. Whatever your health and wellness goal is, if you agree to that, I want you to check that box and I want you to put your health and wellness goal inside of that box. And you can spend some time thinking about it if you want. Commitment number 2. Commit to starting at least 100 new conversations with prospects in the next 30 days. By the end of this month, 100 new conversations. Every one of you can do that. How many of you agree that you're going to start at least 100 new conversations? Copy paste counts. Emojis count. Come on, who's going to play with me? The company just signed a special relationship with a company called NowSite, a technology that helps you post more on social, stay compliant, get more customers, recruit more associates, build a stronger team, support your growth in every language, using artificial intelligence. And guess what? As of today, just happened today, they're giving every single person in Herbalife a 6-month free trial. You can use it for 6 months for $0. In my opinion, either get in front of AI and learn it and figure it out and use it, or fall behind to other people who are using it. Because 2 years from now, there's going to be people who are using it and crushing with it. And there's going to be other people that are still wondering what the heck's going on. So figure it out. You can get a free trial. If you're currently already a paying customer, you get all these extra bonus features that'll be offered up to you if you're already a paying customer. Okay? Everybody else can get a free 6-month trial with all those basics. So if you commit to signing up for a free trial of NowSite and using it to build a stronger business, raise your hands please if you commit to that. It's free, why not? You can cancel anytime, there's no tricks. Try it out, check the box. Next, commit to personally qualifying to become a member of the Herbalife Premier League. And the month you commit to personally qualifying is, and fill in the month. You need a deadline. How many are committed to qualifying for Herbalife Premier League at some point? Raise your hands, please. I want you to fill in, check the box, and put a month in. Put a month in that scares you a little. Scares you just a little bit. Next, I commit to attending the 2025 ENA Extravaganza. Who's going to be here next year? Next, I commit to bringing a blank number of team members to the 2025 Extravaganza. Pick a number that scares you. Pick a number that will stretch you. Pick a number that freaks you out. Fill out the number. Forget about how you're going to do it. Who's going to bring people back with them next year? Raise your hands. And finally, I commit to learning the mindset, strategy, and skills necessary to make progress in becoming an independent Herbalife professional in the next year. And will work to get better every single day. Who's committed to becoming better every single day inside of Herbalife? So listen, here's what I want you to do. You have that form, you're going to fill it out, right? I want you to put your name on that form. I want you to date that form.
GoPro is the name of the book. That definitely changed our business, isn't it?
That's true. And we have not just the book is present, but the amazing brain that is behind this book is with us this weekend. So guys, help us bring on stage our good friends all the way from Las Vegas. Please, let's go. Eric Warren!
Nice to see you all. Nice to see you all. I'm excited. Excited seeing all these countries. Congratulations, Italy, #1. Listen, I'm going to be presenting twice today. This morning just for about 50 minutes, and then this afternoon for a couple hours. And what I'd like to do to start today is to tell you, first of all, how proud I am of each and every one of you. I know all of you have a story. Some of you have amazing stories on how you got here, the adversity you had to go through to be here. So give yourselves a big round of applause for being here, showing up, being part of the future. Well done, well done. And I have to tell you how I arrived here. I started off in the network marketing profession 36 years ago. So a long time ago. Been around for a while. I've seen a lot. Like many of you on the floor, you've seen a lot. You've seen a lot of changes. You've seen a lot of adversity. You've seen a lot of opportunity. You've seen a lot of challenges. You've seen people come and go. You've seen methods rise and fall. You've seen it all, right? So sometimes you can get a little bit jaded, but if you're smart, you can use all of that experience and turn it into wisdom. That's the best advice that I could give you. Take your whole life and realize it was all happening for you, not to you. Every single experience you've gone through has been happening for you. It's led you to this moment. Now what you do at this moment is up to you. You got to decide what you're going to do in this moment. So I start 36 years ago. I did not have a very quick start. I struggled for my first 3.5 years. I'll tell you a little bit more about my story this afternoon, but I'll just tell you, I rebuilt my team 7 times in my first 3.5 years that I was full-time. I built it up to about 30 builders and then it would fall apart, and I build it up again and fall apart, I build it up again. I heard about duplication. I saw other people who had duplication, but I never experienced duplication. I had addition and subtraction. I would add someone, I would lose someone. I would add someone, I would lose someone. It never multiplied for me. And I was sitting in a convention just like this, 3.5 years in Orlando, Florida, and I was feeling like maybe there was something wrong with me. Maybe I was the problem. Because once you're 3.5 years in, you know the people walking across the stage. You know them personally. And you know that they're not that smart. And you're just like, maybe they figured something out, maybe they have some special gene, maybe they have some special, but maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I need to go find something else to do, because there's nothing more frustrating than seeing your dream this close and feeling like you're meant to do it and not feeling like you can do it. Can anybody relate to this at all? Operating under your potential while you're trying hard. That was me. And I was sitting here, and there's moments in life that change everything. And one of these moments for me was sitting at this conference, and it was like a little something clicked in my mind, and I just decided, hold on. What if I just decide to become an expert here? I let go of luck. I let go of timing. I let go of my upline. I love my upline, but I'm not going to call them an excuse anymore. I let go of all of my limiting beliefs, and I just decide, I let go of my expectations. I let go of comparison. I let go of all these things, and I just decide, I'm going to become a professional. I'm going to become an expert at building a network marketing team. Not just in my head, but in actual practice. Because I realized in that moment, if I did that, then I could become unstoppable. Then nothing could stop me. Politics couldn't stop me, my upline couldn't stop me, my lack of training couldn't stop me, my lack of influence, my lack of success, none of those things could stop me if I just decided to become a professional. Then I'd be able to add people. Then I could get those people started properly. Then I could plug those people into DMOs that would work for them. Then I could create duplication. I could figure out duplication. So I turned from a distributor to an investigator. So I got my notes and I started asking around, who's the best person in the company at finding prospects? And I got a little list of people, and I went and interviewed all those people, and I got all of their best ideas. Who's the best there is at inviting people to take a look and understand the product or understand the opportunity? And I got a list, and then I started creating a little list of things that they did that worked. And you know what I found out? What people taught on stage was not necessarily what people really did. Most people, what they did in the field was much harder than what they said on the stage. They were afraid of scaring people in the audience, so they watered it down and they made it seem simpler and easier. And it made me crazy because I tried to do the simple, easy stuff and it didn't work. And I realized what the real people did, the big earners, is they did extraordinary things when nobody was watching. They made sacrifices and commitments and investments when nobody was watching. I figured out how to present. I'll never forget the first skill I learned, and we're going to talk about the skills this afternoon. The first skill I learned was learning how to tell my story. That was my first skill, how to tell my story. Where was I? What did I find? And where am I going? Was my little story, my little 2-minute story. But I can't tell you the amount of confidence that came out of me just from learning how to tell my story. One of the mentors taught me, learn how to tell your story because that's your business card. Okay, I'll learn how to tell my story. But I found the best presenters and I copied their presentation word for word. This was back in the day when we had audio cassettes. I had my Jim Rohn audio cassette albums in the car next to me. And I had audio cassettes of the best presentations in the company. And I wrote them down word for word. And I recorded my own voice into that. And I listened to it 1,000 times until I memorized it. And then I had the presentation down, okay? And it wasn't me doing the presentation, I was literally acting. I was pretending I was the other person. And it took a while for me to get my own personality, my own style. But in the meantime, they didn't mind that I borrowed their style. It was okay, no problem. So, skill by skill, learning how to answer questions, overcome objections, learning how to follow up effectively, learning how to close, learning how to get people started effectively, learning how to promote events, getting people to attend big events like this. All of those things, I learned them one by one, and it was so similar to Mr. Rohn's story of his first years were a struggle, and then the next years were a success. My first 3.5 years was the most frustrating time I've ever had in my professional career, feeling like I was like there was something
Trovato un
broken.
mese te.
And the next 3.5 years,
Ti rendi conto?
everything changed. And I say this to all of you. If you're struggling, if you feel like you're operating underneath your potential, how many feel like there's more in you that you have not yet explored? More in you that you still could reach for? I think that's true for all of us, right? I found a piece of that in the next 3.5 years, and I started my path towards financial freedom. And then it became a passion to teach other people, how to teach other people. And here's how I got here. A year ago, almost a year ago exactly, I was asked to do a presentation from Jorge and Disney, De La Concepcion, my friends. They invited me to come speak at an event in Las Vegas almost a year ago exactly. And I had a dear friend of mine pass away the morning of that presentation. I don't know if you've ever heard of a young lady by the name of Jessie Lee Ward. But you know Jessie Lee? Jessie Lee was my dear friend. And in her way too young, she got cancer. I got the phone call on a Thursday. It says, we don't know how much more time we have. The presentation was on a Saturday. So we got on a plane, flew down to see her on Friday night. And we were saying goodbye. She wasn't saying goodbye, but we were saying goodbye. It was obvious. And we flew back for the presentation, and a half an hour before I'm going on stage, I get the news that she's passed away. And I almost said no. I almost said, I'm not going to do the talk. I can't. This was my dear friend. And it was almost like her voice was in the car saying, you better get your butt down to that presentation because there's another Jessie Lee Ward in the room, ready to go, and they're waiting to hear from you. So I did. It was one of the toughest days of my life, but I found a way to put my grief down for a moment and to pour myself into that audience. And who knew that Stefan Graziani was in that audience? Who knew that other corporate executives were in that audience? And it started a conversation. And that conversation moved forward. And by December or so, we have finally had our first meetings at the corporate offices in Los Angeles. And I've always had great admiration for this company, always. And I'll tell you, the biggest reason why I admire this company is your founder is second to none. Mr. Mark Hughes, this gentleman, one of the most visionary, outstanding, amazing, spectacular, unbelievable human beings. Just amazing. You all know. He passed away in the year 2000, but I will tell you, he has not passed away. He lives on in each and every one of you. His spirit lives on in this company, and it always will. His vision lives on in this company. I would like some of you that have been around for a while, some of you on the floor, to think back. And what would Mark Hughes be saying today to you? How would he be challenging you? How would he be pushing you? How would he be calling you for a better level, the next level of yourself? He'd be calling you out, yes? Because that's what he did, with love, and belief, and vision. But when I went to the home office, I met with, well, I will tell you that the other thing that blew my mind is my number one mentor for my entire life was Mr. Jim Rohn. I cannot tell you how surreal it is for me to be standing on the stage that he used to stand on for you. Because when I was 23 and I started off in this profession, he was in the car with me in his audio programs. I would listen to him, I'd listen to the Challenge to Succeed probably 1,000 times. I could give that seminar today. All of my early trainings were just basically Jim Rohn and isms throughout the entire training. But we got to be friends, he and I. That photo that, when he's sitting in the chair, is a photo that my photographer took from an event that we did together. And he only did an event with me and my company in the 90s because he went and asked Mark Hughes and said, is it okay if I go do some work with Eric and his company because they want to do some things in personal development. And Mark was gracious enough to say, yes, I believe in what they're doing. I believe in what's happening in personal development. So I had the great privilege of working with Mr. Rohn for 5 years and becoming a friend. You know, I don't think we were ever best buddies, but we spent a lot of time together, and I learned so much from him. I probably learned more from him from his audio programs than I did from any other thing, but I got to spend so much time, so much stage time, so much backstage time, and it was the privilege of my life to be able to do. And what's funny is I have a company called Network Marketing Pro. Network Marketing Pro started in March of 2009. And I want you to think about that month. March of 2009 is when Network Marketing Pro started. That was the month that Jim Rohn spoke for the final time at Honors. Almost to the day, coincidentally. So I find it very circular that I'm here, that I find myself working with you. It's a privilege and an honor to be working with you. I've watched that presentation of him being walked out on stage at that honors event. I've probably watched it 20 times. I can't get through it without crying. It's impossible to get through without crying. The thing that kills me is when he pulls a chair up, he stops his presentation, pulls a chair up to the edge of the stage, and just says goodbye to his friends. Unbelievable. He was family. Still is. And I just have to show you a picture of one of the events that I did with Mr. Rohn. This is a little bit of an embarrassing picture, but take a look at this. This is from 1995.
Very cool.
That's me in the bottom left. And I just want you to know, I chose that photo. Of all the best photos that I could pick, which one should I pick? Yikes, my wife says, I'm glad I didn't meet you then. So I find myself in Los Angeles, this surreal moment. Stefan asked me to fly over. I fly over, and in bounds Michael Johnson in his track suit, and he sits me down. He says, Eric, I've heard a lot about you. Tell me, what do you see when you look at Herbalife? And I said, without hesitation. I said, I've been doing my homework for 2 months. I see 20 billion. What do you see? He said, that's my number too. So, I don't know if you can see 20 billion, but I can see it as clear as day. And that's just the next step. So, Michael Johnson was, in my opinion, when Mark left too soon, there needed to be a strong hand to be able to guide through some very, very heavy water. And Michael Johnson was there, and he continues to be there for the company. He deserves all the respect in the world. He does not have to be doing this. He's doing it out of pure love, his heart, and out of contribution to each and every one of you. And then finally, I'm here because of Stefan Graziani. This guy, I think he's your secret weapon, to be honest with you. You know how rare it is to find someone who has, 32 years of experience in the field doing exactly what you're doing, but at the same time has a corporate sensibility and a strategic mind and a love for the field. You know how rare that is to find inside of this profession? It almost doesn't exist. And I got to show you one thing that's a little bit embarrassing. In December of this year, I was on the phone with Stefan, and I said, okay, I'm going to get in shape. Because I had challenged, if you ever watch UFC fighting, Dana White, he's a friend. So I called Dana White, who got really, really in good shape the last couple of years. And I said, Dana, I'm going to get in shape just like you by my birthday. He said, okay, let's put a bet on it. So you have to do it. I'm like, oh, crap. So I said, okay. And then I called Stefan. I said, Stefan, I just made a bet with Dana White. He said, let me add to that bet. Stefan did. He said, because I need you to represent the brand. And I will tell you, I have struggled with my weight. I have struggled with my health my entire life. I've neglected everything. Here's a picture of me at 34% body fat. I am not, it's a very embarrassing photo to show you, 34% body fat, okay? And then this is a second picture. This was taken probably 2 months ago. I've improved a little bit since then. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I promise by honors, all of you big shots, by honors, I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be ready. I'm in the gym. I'm working out. I'm hitting it hard. And Michael talks about these whoop competitions. You can't beat Michael at a whoop competition. It's impossible. He sends me screenshots, and all it does is demoralize me. I literally, he sent me a screenshot when he wasn't feeling very good. And it took me 4 hours that day. My wife, at 11:45 at night, my wife saying, well, you still have 15 minutes to try and catch him. I'm trying, but he's a beast. He is a physical representation of what Herbalife is all about. Absolutely. And each one of you should be the same. So, I've been quite a bit around the world. These are all the places I've been since February. Las Vegas, Mexico City, Bogota, Minneapolis, Manchester, Portugal, going to Uzbekistan, and going to Korea next month. I was just in India. I've been in Bangkok so far, been traveling around the world, a lot of different countries, introducing myself to everybody. It's so great to introduce myself to one of my favorite regions in the world, Europe. Come on. Europe and Africa, you guys are absolutely spectacular, amazing. You should be leading the world. You should be leading the world. So here's what I would like to do. After 36 years of experience now, I've worked with and trained more $1-million earners, more six-figure earners than any person alive. I've literally trained millions of people. On this trip alone, I've been in front of 50,000 people just in the last 8 days. Okay? I know what I'm talking about. I'm not guessing. Okay? What I'd like to do is I'd like to share with you what I see when I look at Herbalife. How many would like to know what I see when I look at Herbalife? Okay. This is how let's play a game. You be a prospect, and I'll be an Herbalife distributor. And I'll just tell you how I would share, sit down with somebody over coffee or whatever, and I would share the opportunity. Okay? All right, here's what I would start off with. I've been in business a long time, and I'm involved with a company that I'm excited about, and it might be a fit for you and it might not. But here's what I will tell you up front. You have to be willing to take a look at something that is non-traditional, because this is a non-traditional business that I'm about to show you. If you're okay with non-traditional, we can continue. If you need traditional, you need to go somewhere else. Okay? The name of the company is Herbalife. You might have heard of them. In my opinion, this is one of the most special companies on earth, and I'm going to tell you why they're special. Because if you're going to evaluate any business in the world, and I think the most unsafe place on planet Earth is to be working for someone else, with all the advancements in technology, with all the growth that's happening around the world, to not be pursuing some way for you to be able to work for yourself and be your own boss is irresponsible, because it's risky working for someone else when technology can replace your job in a moment. Okay? So whether it's this opportunity or some other opportunity, it doesn't matter. I'm going to present what I have, and if it doesn't fit, then I'd encourage you to continue your pursuit of finding something that works for you. Fair enough? After 36 years, I will tell you I've learned there are 7 things that you need to evaluate if you want to look at any business. 7 things that you need to take a look at. Number 1 is the company's products. If the products are no good, there's no need in going any farther. If the products check out, then the company. Make sure that the company's for real. If the company's for real, what's the model? How are you selling these products? Once the model is solid, take a look at the compensation. Is it worth your time? Can you make some money? Number 5 is the support. If you got involved, what kind of support could you expect? Number 6 is timing. What is the timing? In business, timing is very important. And in 7, what is the vision? Where is the company going? And how do you fit into that vision? So those are the 7 things. You don't need all 7 to build a big business. There's a lot of successful businesses that don't have all 7. But in my opinion, if you find all 7 and you don't at least explore it, it's irresponsible. So what I'm going to do is share all 7 with you from my perspective and encourage you to do your own homework about what I'm about to share with you. And I'm going to do it quickly. I'm going to give you an overview. And if it's for you, fantastic. You want to take the next step, fantastic. And if it's not, at least you understand what it is that I have. Fair enough? All right. When it comes to the product, there are 5 questions that you need to answer. For any product in the world, 5 questions that you need to answer. 1, is there a need for the product? Is there a need in the marketplace? 2, do the products meet the need? Do they solve the problem? 3, are the products backed up by quality and science if necessary? Number 4, are the products priced to sell in comparison to that quality? And number 5, are the products priced for profit? Is there enough margin for the company to get a good value, for the person getting involved as a business distributor to make it worth their time, and for the consumer to get a good value? Okay, if you can answer these 5 questions, you can move on to the next thing. So is there a need for the products? Longevity, I think you would agree, is a hot topic. Some of the biggest threats to longevity are poor weight management, poor nutrition, poor sleep, and poor physical fitness. I think it's one of the hottest topics in the world. People ready to take charge of their lives, their health, their energy, their vitality, their weight, their sleep, all of it. They're ready to take charge of it. So, who do you know, if you're a prospect, who do you know that needs help with their wellness, their nutrition, their sleep, their energy, or their fitness? Can you think of anyone? Can you think of anyone that needs the help with any of these things? How many can think of at least one person that needs help with one of these things? It's like the whole world is all needs help with these things. So I think the product meets the need. You have to make your decision. Best way, well, the second thing, does the product meet the need? We all agree that there's a need. Does it meet the need? Herbalife products help with fitness, performance, weight management, daily nutrition, targeted support, and skin and body care. And you can look at these at your own leisure, at your own time. But it's a pretty broad offering when it comes to meeting the need. Here's some, you take a look at the different products that are available in the marketplace. Let me give you some proof that's irrefutable. Let's take their weight management shake. Just the one product, their weight management shake. 4.6 million shakes every single day, served every single day. That works out to 1.7 billion shakes per year. If the products were not meeting the need in the marketplace, would those numbers exist? Those numbers would not exist. That's not made up. That's not done by distributors. That's customers enjoying and getting benefit from the product. So that proves, in my opinion, that the products meet the need, because that's the flagship. The rest of the stuff continues to serve all different other types of needs for different types of people. Now, the best way for you to decide if the products meet the need is to try them yourself. If you want to evaluate this company, best way to do it, become a customer first, try the products. If you like the products, if you feel like there's a market for them, then we could talk about the business. Here's what makes Herbalife special, in my opinion. The products plus you, the distributors. The distributors who want to help a customer succeed. Sometimes the products aren't enough. Sometimes you need accountability. Sometimes you need a friend. Sometimes you need a coach. Sometimes you need somebody to push you. Sometimes you need somebody to hold you accountable, right? It helps you do more than you would have done if you didn't have that accountability. I had Dana White accountability. I had Stefan Graziani accountability. I had all of you as accountability. I've got trainers that show up at the house to hold me accountable. I've got, one of the biggest things that held me accountable to getting in shape is I did a 90-day coaching program, and I told all the people in the 90-day coaching program, you do what I tell you to do, and I'll get myself in shape during these 90 days, and I'll hold myself accountable to you. Accountability matters. It really matters. And that's the Herbalife difference, in my opinion. If it was just the products by itself in a store, it would be one thing. But when the distributors get added to that product, the product becomes 10 times more powerful. How many agree that you, by yourself, make the products more powerful for the consumer? All right. So do the products meet the need? Answer is yes. Are the products backed up by quality and science? And I'm just going to give you an overview because this is so overwhelming. It's too much to even absorb, okay? You can't even write it down. I'll give it to you so you can look at it later. But 300 staff scientists, 19 labs, internal state-of-the-art manufacturing, 300,000 annual internal product quality tests, constant research and development, seed to feed initiatives, their own soy, aloe, and tea fields, ingredients with purpose, care at every stage, nutrition you can trust. These products are award-winning around the world. I mean, it just doesn't stop as far as quality is concerned. And then are the products priced to sell? 4 elements when I took a look at this, when I evaluated myself. Are the products priced to sell? There's a combination of 4 things: quality ingredients, science, customer and company results, getting results, and Michael talked about it, taste. Taste really matters. I don't care how healthy that stuff is. People will not choke it down if it doesn't taste good. So to find a way to have something that has science that actually tastes good at the same time is a real challenge. And the company has risen to that challenge. So in my opinion, here's what Herbalife products do. They provide a high quality, custom solutions for people who are serious about their health, their fitness, their vitality, and their energy. That's what they do. So you tell me if Herbalife answers these 5 questions or not. I tell you, in my opinion, they answer all 5. And here's the best way to judge. Here's the best way for you to answer the question yourself. Become a customer. Have that be part of your homework. Order all the products. Try all the products. Find out which ones work for you and your family. Find out which ones work for people who really have a need. That's how the best way for you to evaluate these companies, become a customer yourself. So, what you want to ask in this, the last question, I'm sorry, is are the products priced for profit? There's 3 different elements. Do the customers get a good value? Does the entrepreneur make enough money for this to be worth their time? And does the company make enough money to be profitable and sustainable? You know how hard that balance is? It's very, very hard. And the company has found that balance over 44 years. So the products check out. We agree? Check mark on the products. Next thing to take a look at is the company. And it's ridiculous what the company offers. It was founded by this gentleman by the name of Mark Hughes. He was the founder and first distributor. It was continued with Michael Johnson as chairman of the board. Its president is Stefan Graziani, who's been in the field for 32 years. I think on the corporate side, they're just a representation of 9,000 people that work for this company that really care. I've done my homework. I'd encourage you to do your homework to find out if they really care, because they really do. They are the #1 active and lifestyle nutrition brand in the world. Now listen, do you know how many companies would love to brag about this one point? #1 active and lifestyle nutrition brand in the world. How many of you are proud of the fact that you represent the #1 active and lifestyle nutrition brand on planet Earth? But that's not just it. They're also #1 they have the #1 protein shake in the world. How many are proud of that fact? Come on, #1 protein shake on planet Earth. The #1 weight management and well-being brand in the world. The #1 in weight loss supplements in the world. They have over 9,000 employees in 90 plus countries around the world. They have in 2023 net sales of $5.1 billion. This is no joke. This is solid as a rock. This is going nowhere. Publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange, which means you can trust it. There's full transparency. You don't have to worry about, are they doing the right thing? Because they are under the tightest regulatory scrutiny possible. 2 million distributors in these 95 plus countries around the world. Tens of millions of customers around the world. And plus the Herbalife culture. When you get to know it, healthy, positive, energetic, entrepreneurial. just being around a positive environment is something very, very special. I would encourage you to be around a positive environment if you're not around one right now, because this is a positive environment. Not only that, they give back. The Herbalife Family Foundation has had decades of impact, 30 years now, global reach, disaster relief. I'll let you read about that later, but just know that the company actually cares and they give back. Now let me get into some stuff that I'm not going to share with you in detail. I'm just going to share with you very quickly. So if you want to take a picture quick. Because there's so much social proof about this company that if you want to call it a scam, you look a little bit foolish. If you want to call it illegitimate, you should be quiet. Because you're going to look stupid. Just telling you. And if any of you apologize for Herbalife in any form or fashion, consciously or subconsciously, shame on you. You should never apologize for what this company has done. They have innovated for 44 years. You're making it happen. Take a look at the partnerships, the Global Anti-Hunger Partnership Organizations, the government and other partnership organizations, the sports sponsorships, over 150 athletes. And we just oh, by the way, we have Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, you guys don't even brag about it. I don't see you bragging. Only in this room. Only in this room. Only in this room. Show me a company on earth. Show me a company that's invested in 150 plus athletes and teams, 40 plus sports, 6 national Olympic committees. Show me a company that's done that. It doesn't exist. The scientific organizations, look at the membership and board membership and sustaining partners that they're connected to. This is just a partial list of the scientific organizations. Take a look at the industry associations. This is just a partial list of the board members and members that they're connected to in industry. Take a look at the certifications. This is just a partial list. Just a tiny list. Take a look at the awards. This is just 2023, and it's a partial list. So, I don't know about you, but we all agree that the product checked out at least enough for you to be able to take another look. How many agree that the company checks out as far as being legit? All right. So if the company checks out and the products check out, third thing you need to check out is the model. And this is something that makes Herbalife so unreal. There's 4 things that Herbalife distributors do. 1, they sell quality products and they support the customers. The distributor is the special factor that provides that support to the customer. Number 2, they recruit an ever-expanding team of other distributors who are out there selling. Nothing happens unless the product is sold to the customer, okay? But if we can build a bigger team, we can sell more product. You can only sell so much by yourself. So we sell and recruit. The third thing we do is we duplicate the process. This brings in the magic of Herbalife, where people can start to duplicate and build bigger and bigger and bigger teams all the way around the world, in all these countries around the world. And the fourth thing we do is we improve the productivity of the teams that we build based upon the leadership that we provide to those teams. If we split this stadium down the middle, and half has a great leader, the other half doesn't have a good leader. The half that has a great leader is going to win. Right? So our leadership matters. So, the Herbalife products, I've never seen anything like it, ever. They can be sold so many different ways. Most companies that I've worked with in 36 years, they've got one way, and that's it. This is how they build. Or maybe they do that plus a little social media. That's about it. But here, you've done something that no company has ever done in the history of network marketing in the last 100 years. The physical nutrition clubs are an absolute innovation. It's never happened in the history of the world. 67,000 locations around the world, all independently run. No franchise fees, no franchises at all. Fueled by Herbalife products and Herbalife people. Take a look at the approximate number of locations of these other brands around the world. Burger King, KFC, Subway, Starbucks, McDonald's, 42,000 locations. Herbalife has 67,000 locations. And if you're a prospect, I'm going to say, I bet you didn't know that. I bet you didn't know that, did you? And that's an innovation that happened from the company. And then there's innovations inside of the innovations. There's people who came up with this concept called budget breakfast clubs. And from this alone, this started in 2018. Low budget, small in size, nutrition clubs, and they've created a flow and a DMO that's so beautiful and so nice and so friendly and so natural, and people move through without feeling a lot of resistance. There's not a lot of friction inside of that whole structure. So I'm proud of you guys for putting it together, and congratulations on more innovation. And I'm sure there's more innovation to go. Transformation challenges, that's how I was first introduced a year ago. Weight loss marathons, fit camps, social media, person to person. Don't sleep on person to person. And with Herbalife, here's the great thing. You can start however you like. You have total flexibility and you have no barriers. Think about that. You don't have to pick, you don't have to follow one particular plan. What I would tell you is you could build a team as big as you want and let people pick whatever model that is comfortable for them and let them go grow with that model. But the people who build a big team get to get it all. They get to get all the money. They get to get all the opportunity. And then let people focus on the particular DMO and go build from there. So does the model check out? Yes or no? All right, number 4 is the compensation plan. And in the compensation plan, there's 4 elements that you need to evaluate in a compensation plan if you're going to get involved. Okay, if you're going to look at any business, you've got to see how you're going to get paid. 1, there needs to be startup costs that need to be manageable for the average person. If you want to build a big team, the startup costs need to be manageable. Would you agree? It's better than having a big, large fee. If those startup costs are manageable, you can build a bigger business faster. Number 2, there needs to be the possibility to make some money quickly. Person's got to be able to get a return of their investment pretty quick. Number 3, there has to be the possibility for a part-time person to make enough money with a reasonable effort for it to be worth their time. So a part-time person's got to be able to say, you know what, this is worth my time. I can see a vision for the future. And 4, there must be the possibility for those rare few achieving the highest levels to fulfill their dreams and aspirations of earning big money through hard work, skill, and dedication. How many of you are interested in big money? How many of you understand that it's possible for you? But here's the thing, not everybody's going to be interested in that. Some people are just going to be interested in the products, that's great. Some people make a few bucks, a few extra dollars, that's fine for them. Some people are going to be able to make a nice part-time income, wonderful. Some people are going to go for all of it. And what's great with Herbalife is people can choose whichever way they want to go. So I would encourage you to evaluate the compensation plan more deeply, but just know this. The company has balanced those four elements very, very well and taken care of all four of those things very, very well. And when you do your homework, I feel that you're going to find that they have done well with the compensation plan. And then the fifth thing to take a look at is the support. Herbalife support is enormous. How many of you have started a traditional business outside of network marketing? Raise your hands. Outside of network marketing. Keep your hands up if you agree that it's hard. It's hard. How much support do you get? Like nothing. You get less than nothing. You have to do it all by yourself. But what's so great about Herbalife, with this tiny little startup cost, they give you access to products, training, distribution internationally, manufacturing, legal, customer service, technology, recognition, incentives, events, and more. Plus, there's a whole team of distributors that want to see you win. So, tell me where you're going to find that. You want to start a side hustle? Tell me where you're going to find that list of support. For free. You don't have to pay a penny for it. It's all provided for you. You don't have to pay a nickel. Show me. I'll wait. Any company in the world, any side hustle in the world, I'll debate anyone on any stage at any time as far as lining up what Herbalife has against any side hustle on planet Earth. Herbalife wins every single time. There is no competition. Zero. End of story. I don't care what the side hustle is. So that's the support. The sixth thing to take a look at is timing. In real estate, it's location, location, location. Very important to have the right location. In business, many times it's timing, timing, timing. You want to make sure you're in the right place at the right time. Here's what you have inside of Herbalife that makes it special. You have lower than typical risk. There's always risk involved in anything. But there's lower than typical risk. Let me tell you why. 44 years. They've already been through the battles. They've already been through the wars. They've already gone through all these different things. They've already put all the research behind the product. They've already done all of that stuff. So the risk has been sucked out. And yet, most people in the world not only need the products, but would be willing to use the products if someone would just educate them about these products. Most people in the world still don't know these products exist. They don't even know that they're there. It's your job to tell them. It's your job to build a team big enough to tell them. So that timing situation is so special, and it's so rare to find very low risk and very high potential upside, where you can expand around the world and build a huge team. You can build an empire inside of this company. The top 100 is totally available to you. For everybody in this room, the top 100 in this company is available to you. The top 50 in this company is available to you. The top 20 in this company is available to you. The number one spot in this company is available to you. You just have to decide if you want it. That's a timing situation that is special. And the cool thing is they're just getting started. I believe that everything that Herbalife has done up until this point has been practice. The last 44 years has just been dress rehearsal. Now it's time to run. They've taken everything, they've built this incredible, beautiful foundation, and that's what I view, what you've built so far. I don't view it as an empire. I view it as a foundation. This is a stage that's been built for you to stand on. This is a stage for you to perform on. It's a foundation for you to build on. It's not a skyscraper for you to add one more floor to. It's a foundation in every single market around the world. It's just now getting started. It's a matter of what you do in your head, where you're going to take this. So, last thing I will tell you, timing I think checks out. How many would agree that timing checks out? Yes? Last thing I will tell you is this, is vision. And vision is a unique combination of two things. the company's vision, and I will tell you, clear as day, they're aimed at 20 billion. That's their next target. It's not their final target, but that's their next target. 5.1 billion was last year, 20 billion is their next target, and they're very serious about it. They're committed
20
to it.
miliardi.
I looked them in the eye,
Milioni.
and I can tell pretty quick, and after 7 months, I can tell you for a fact, they're absolutely committed to 20 billion. You got to decide how much of that 20 billion you want. There's 15 billion on the table for somebody in this arena to take their piece. For real, because it's going to happen, with or without you. I hope it happens with you, but it's going to happen. So it's a unique combination of the company's vision on one side and your vision.
Non esistono.
What's your vision for your country? What's your vision for your team? What's your vision for your organization? What's your vision for the number of people that are going to get fit? What's your vision for the families that are going to be impacted? What's your vision for the financial freedom you're going to be able to provide to the number of people around the world? What's your vision for the number of people that are going to be qualified in Premier League? What's your vision for who's going to be at Extravaganza next year? What's your vision for all of this and more? So when you add the company's vision to your vision, now we've got all 7. Now here's the great thing. You don't need all 7 in order to succeed, to build a big business. But if you have all 7, and you don't at least explore the rest of this opportunity, if you don't try the products, if you don't do your homework on the company, if you don't check this out, if you don't go visit one of these clubs, if you don't do your homework, then it's on you. You need to go plug back into the matrix and go do whatever it is that you want to do and live out the rest of your days at 10% of your potential. But if you see all 7, in my opinion, it's irresponsible if you don't take action. You need to do a little bit more homework and use the product. So here's what I would tell you. In summary, Herbalife offers quality products in hot categories. I think you'd all agree. Support in 95 countries. Entrepreneurship for the average person with less than typical risks. 44 years experience, 9,000 employees, millions of satisfied distributors and customers, a money-back guarantee which takes the risk out even further. And like I told you, I think the last 44 years have just been rehearsal. It's just been practice. It's built the stage. It's built the foundation. The real opportunity starts right now. Right now, this moment. I'll tell you what successful people do. Here's what successful people do. Successful people say yes to opportunity. They say yes. Number 2, they tell the whole world. And then number 3, they figure it out. That's what successful people do. They say yes, they tell the world, and they figure it out. A few more final thoughts for you, and then I'll be back this afternoon to give you some training on how to turn all this into reality. But it's time for every single one of you to think bigger than you've ever thought in your lives. If there's an epidemic at all, it's an epidemic of people thinking too small. You need to think bigger than you've ever given yourself permission to think before. The world is not served by you playing small. Number 2, it's time for every single one of you to be stronger than you've ever been before. No more whining, no more complaining. You need to grow a thicker skin. You need to embrace that this is a non-traditional approach to entrepreneurship, and you're not a traditional person. Embrace that. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't apologize for it. This is a non-traditional approach. No blaming, no more whining, no more complaining, no more excuses. Do what needs to be done. Every one of you needs to be stronger. Who's ready to be stronger? And finally, it's time for every single one of you to move faster. If I've learned anything in my entrepreneurial career, is that success loves speed. You gotta go. If you're gonna get it done, get it done. If you're gonna get to President's team, get to President's team. If you're gonna get to Premier League, get to Premier League. Get it done. Hurry up. Just because we've been around for 44 years doesn't mean you need to take 10 years to get to Miltein. You don't need 10 years to get to Miltein. Get it done. So that's my evaluation of the Herbalife opportunity. I will tell you, in my opinion, Herbalife is special, and I cannot wait. Hope you take advantage of it. I cannot wait to share more with you this afternoon. I love you all.